You remember we went all the way to Brazil for Chinese people to start taking pictures of me. Like, standing right next to Christ the Redeemer, they were taking pictures of me.
Remember Webbs?
Yeah, but you're wearing all white.
No, Webbs was wearing all white when we went, and bare people wanted to take pictures with Webbs.
I was Christ.
And he looked like Jesus, black Jesus.
And you know, it's not just because he was black, because all of us were there and they were pushing us out the way. To like, can you stand in front of Christ?
But it's because not only was he black with all the white clothing on, but he was hobbling like he had carried the cross. Because he had something wrong with his foot, so he was hobbling like he had carried the cross.
And actually, that day, one man asked me to pray for him.
Oh, yeah, yes.
And you know what he did? He put his
I put my hand on him. I laid hands. Yes.
I don't remember that.
Yes. One man asked Webbs to pray for him.
Where was that?
I think you asked the devil to pray for you. When we asked the devil to pray for you.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, cats and dogs, rodents and other small insects, welcome to the Eloquently Saying Nothing podcast. This is episode number 42. I am Stavros Boss. In the house with me tonight we have Mr. Wolf.
Ah, yes, this is Mr. Wolf in the building. Hope everybody is well. We have a proverb this week, believe it or not. Dun dun. This week's proverb is, many want to make a mark without effort, yet without effort, no marks can be made.
Hang on a minute. Did you just go, yes, before you started speaking?
I did.
What the fuck?
Freak out.
And we also have the singer Wahala.
What's good, people? I'm in the building.
We have the DJ Web Slinger in the house.
I gave her money. I gave her time. I gave her everything inside this heart could find. I gave her passion, my very soul.
Oh.
I gave her promises and secrets so untold. And she promised me forever and a day we'll live as one.
Gaza.
We made our vows we'll live our life anew. And she promised me in secret that she'd live me for all time. And something else. It's a promise so untrue. Tell me what can I do? And it doesn't seem to matter, and it doesn't seem right. I'm not going to sing anymore because of the way Stav is looking at me.
I'm not a fan of that song.
What's going on,
That's
bro?
not one of my favourite Mike songs, man.
It's episode 42. After I finished, I flushed her down the loo. Who is it?
Jesus.
Did you know that?
Is it my brother?
That the verse. The verse was too long, bruv.
Yeah,
the
it
verse,
was.
The verse is
But
actually
he's done
a
it
long
now.
verse.
He's done it now. So what can we do about it?
We can rewind and use the DeLorean.
Last and longest, we have Simple Simon.
Yeah.
Who that wanna get up with my crew?
Gaza, I was set forever now.
JT Money, Who That, 2000 and...
I'm gonna say about 2003. I'm gonna say.
That's what I was gonna say, 2003. But I think that's too early, isn't it?
It might be 2, actually.
No, I think it's about 2003 still.
No, you about right.
I'm gonna check whilst you lot talk about stuff you want to talk about.
Simple Simon in the building.
Oh, say 1999, boy.
Me there.
Album came out 1999.
Is it?
Yeah, apparently.
Well,
Not the 80s.
not the 80s.
You know what? Can I ask a question? Because we stepped on it, and I'm not really a fan of that Jackal song. What's your favorite Michael Jackson song?
Ooh.
I haven't got a favourite one, but the one that I've been singing and playing for the last few years non-stop has been Liberian Girl. And I love the video as well.
You know how
the video was bad.
Change my
All
world.
them celebrities in there and everything, man.
That's the one where he only comes right at the end.
Yeah, because he's like the director.
Yeah.
It's Michael.
You got that one, and then you got the one with
Yeah, the people were laughing.
Eddie Murphy and
Imam.
Remember the
Hall.
time.
Do you remember
as
when you
kings
fell
and
in
queens.
love?
I think every
Egypt.
album has classics on it.
Yeah, but what's your favorite Jackal
You know,
song?
I can't even say what my favorite Jackal song is.
Oh, okay,
There's far too many.
I think I can't remember which one is mine.
You know the beginning of Liberian Girl. It's just bad.
Yeah,
Back in the day, we had a radiogram.
Yeah, radiogram.
We had a radiogram in my room actually back in the day. If you don't know what a radiogram is, look it up. Go Google that. It's a big massive thing, and it played vinyl. Go look at that as well.
Apparently, you don't know what vinyl is, bruv.
Who's that Oasis brother?
Sorry, what's
Liam Gallagher.
One of them.
No.
Noel's the one that released the album this
vinyl.
week.
No, that's Liam.
Is it Liam?
That's Liam, yeah.
And it's like the best selling vinyl album in 20 years.
You should have seen him on the Graham Norton show, boy. He looked well uncomfortable during the interview. It was funny though.
Me and Stav are the Noah and Liam of the podcast world.
Anyway, where was I? Yeah, we had a radiogram.
The Black Gallagher's, innit?
The Black Gallagers.
The Black
I
Mitchells.
thought they were more like Phil and Grant Mitchell, to be honest.
Yeah,
with you.
for real.
No, because they're not. Phil and Grant beef, but they beef over pussy, innit? Let's be real. They're always beefing over each other's wives.
No,
Them
but-
man are beefing for
No,
real
but
beef.
Noel and Liam, they do not talk to each other, bruv.
Yeah,
As
Yeah,
in
but
literally.
Nolan and Liam had beef.
They
over
don't
pussy as
talk
well.
to.
Liam-
They just
Liam
don't
said
talk
that-
to each
but
other.
they make
bruv.
beautiful
Yeah,
music when they're
Liam said
together.
the other day was like, the Oasis is never gonna get together because of no. He was saying he's never gonna get back together because of no. But he's a bastard, blah blah. But he makes good music. He has to admit, that's good music, but he's a bastard.
Back in the day, in the radiogram that used to be in my room, there were about 5 or 6 vinyls that were actually inside, the small vinyls, and the ones with the big circle in the middle. So you needed to put the adapter inside.
Damn.
To the Jamaicans out there, that's called the 7-inch 4-5. You know that already.
Yes.
What a bam 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 bam.
And one of them was Man in the Mirror,
Dub plate
and I used to
special.
play that, dust it off,
Yeah,
know, rub the thing. We even had the felt thing that you went.
Oh, do you remember that?
It's somewhere upstairs. I'm sure my dad's got it there.
And,
somewhere.
Change the needle. You got to change the needle, bro.
Yes,
Yeah, of
once in
course.
a while. And so the Man in the Mirror was mine because that's one of the
Man
ones
in the
that
Mirror.
I just,
That's a
u-
good- no, a
I just
weak
used
Jacko
to.
song,
I just
man.
used to.
That's another weak Jacko song for me, man.
Listen to the lyrics, man.
As I fix change
Color on my
what's
winter
in my
coat.
life.
Are you mad?
It's gonna feel real good.
No, not
Gonna
for me,
make a
man.
difference.
I got 2.
Gonna make it
For me, it's between
Go on, Yadi.
Billie Jean, because the denial of that child is fantastic.
Billie Jean's a classic, I am.
Yeah.
I bet the other one's a bashment version of it.
No, and the other one is starting something.
You got to be starting something, and you got to be starting
'Cause
something.
that's beef.
You wanna be starting something.
That is beef.
So
got to be
you like the one where he's
starting something.
not claiming the child and he wants to start beef.
Trust me, he is the original baby father.
Beat it. I was gonna say
Michael
Beat It
Jackson is the original baby father.
Yeah, I've said this from day, man. He's the number one baby father. Him and
Vader.
and Darth Vader. Them two number one baby
Beat
father.
It is a classic track.
Yeah.
No, you see, Beat It, yeah, is a classic track, but if you put it up against starting something, it's, I don't know.
Nah, beat is classic.
No.
You know what?
Yeah, it's a rhythm
They
track.
told you don't you ever come around here.
Since we're in this vein, and because we talk about Michael Jackson every week now, because this one wants to sing Michael Jackson every
It's
week.
Michael Jackson.
I mean,
season.
answers, bro.
Sorry.
Go on then.
I would like to say that I would probably think it's either Don't Stop Till You Get Enough or Rock With You. It'll probably Rock With You. I wanna rock with you
That was his first
all night.
solo single.
Dance with you to the sunlight. I wanna rock
Mr.
with
Wolf
you.
is there.
I don't know if I'm feeling just nostalgia
Night
or
away.
if it's the tune. I don't know. I think it's just nostalgia, man. That was a nice moment in life.
But
When that song came out,
But not great.
It was a nice moment in life.
or you know what? It might even be a Jackson 5 song. That's my favorite Michael Jackson song. Still, when Jermaine was involved. Still,
But that might not be.
ABC.
That's not a Jackson song.
nah, not
is it?
ABC.
It's a Jackson. So you don't take it away from the 5, bro.
Nah, okay, fair enough. But there's some Jackson 5 songs that are bad. I just can't remember the name still.
You went away with my hand down.
That song will go down in history.
And I
Wonder.
Some people thought that was an Vogue tune. I wanted to throw sand in their eye.
Can you feel it? Can you feel it? Can you feel it?
That was
Hold
like,
on,
a,
so-
sounds like a movie song.
That song that you're singing.
It's originally a Jackson song.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, and then
if you-
Unvogue
I would-
done a nice little
Was it
cover.
An or N?
You know what? You know what?
Vogue.
Okay, we've already established, that Jacko is original gangster bad man, yeah?
Bad man.
Right? We've already established that he's the number one baby father, yeah?
Yes.
Do you not acknowledge the fact that the Jacksons had a song saying, I saw mommy kissing Santa under Christmas tree?
Yeah, what's wrong?
So they-
So he's already
They
showing them holes out here,
certified.
man.
They certified.
Yeah, but Santa's
how,
daddy, innit?
how their family is.
No, is it the dad? I thought it was one. I thought she was proper hoeing out there, bruv.
So
Thought Mama Jacka was involved.
so you actually
call
thought
Catherine
there was a real Santa then?
No, I'm just saying he could have. Yes, I did.
How many years has man been thinking? Oh, black mommy was kissing white Santa.
I just assumed he was a white person.
With the white beard
He took mince pies and pussy. So on that
He
note,
took mince pies and pussy.
we'll go to what's his name?
That's not bad. That is
Harvey
not-
Weinstein.
Because you were on the naughty list.
That's not a bad combination.
I'm gonna
having
take
some
that
mince
pussy.
pies
I'm
before you get the pussy.
gonna take that after, bro. What are we taking before? You
Give
bang
me
and then
energy,
and then
give
the
me
way
energy.
out the way out the house, you take the
Checking
mince
that
pies.
list. He's checking
He
it
said-
twice. He's gonna find out who's naughty or nice. Santa
Claus is banging
tonight.
Tonight. He knows when the dad is sleeping.
Mince pies and
He
cream.
knows when the mum is awake.
Mince
He
pies
knows
and cream.
when her pussy tastes good, so be good for goodness sake.
Damn.
Merry Christmas, bitches.
And it's coming. It's only 2 months away. Innit?
This thing went completely left, bro.
Mince pies and
I
cream,
don't know,
baby.
man.
Mince pies
Always
and
the
cream.
Where
mind
did
of,
we go?
of Wahala. It's always him.
Anyway, Weinstein. What was his name? Weinstein.
Harvey
Weinstein.
I
Weinstein.
don't even know if I want to talk about this dude, boy.
Another
Can we-
one got revealed today.
Can we establish that he's Jewish? I just wanted to put that out there.
Damn. They're
What's that
coming,
got to do with anything?
they're coming
It's
for
got
you.
nothing to do with anything, but
They're
why
coming
not?
for you.
I'll say it.
You know,
Zionist difference. Okay.
Harvey Weinstein.
So what about this geezer? Who is he and what has he done?
All right, he's a movie producer, big time movie producer. Miramax started with his brother, sold that to Disney, and now he's part of. Well, they restarted a new company called the Weinstein Company.
Yep.
They produce many big films. All the Quentin Tarantino films, Miramax stroke the Weinstein Company did.
All of them?
From the first one, yeah.
Dust Till Dawn.
No.
That's not a Quentin Tarantino film.
Kill Bill.
It's half Quentin Tarantino.
No,
Kill
he
Bill.
wrote it. He didn't.
It was only. I thought it was only one Kill Bill film that he did.
There is only one Kill Bill film.
What did
What do you
Quentin?
mean they only did one part?
One volume.
Oh yeah, the 2 volumes. Didn't I
Yeah.
forget the 2
But
volumes?
he only did one of them.
What did
And then
Quentin
what did-
Tarantino?
So
do
you're trying to
in-
say that? So who was the other one with?
I don't know who the other one was, but yeah, I think he only did one of them. Because I was looking at the list of all the films that he'd thingy bob. And
Is it even relevant?
Forget him. It's the company. Miramax have done, from my understanding, and this is without no research. I just know Quentin Tarantino enough to know that Miramax stroke the Weinstein Company have done all these films. But I'll have a look. But we'll just take it on. Either way, he's done some of those films. He's done what's that one?
Good Will Hunting and all them films there.
Yeah, Good Will Hunting. I know what it is. The Crying Game.
Man, sag it, boy. And the crying
Game.
game.
Put it this way, the Weinstein Company's been instrumental in a lot of Hollywood blockbusters
Yes.
and classics.
Yes. They started off quite with smaller films, and then they blew up and
Yeah,
blah blah
they
blah.
did a
blah,
lot of
blah.
independence in the beginning.
All right. So he has been. There was a report done. I think it was a 2-year report by a newspaper or a magazine. I'm not even sure who started it actually. But it's gone so far now after such a short time. And they put it out and they said this man has sexually abused, predated, and I don't even think they used the rape one, but rape has now been involved now. Multiple women in the industry, people that wanted to be put on, actresses, writers, all these different people that were in his realm, he was taking the mick out of.
When you say you don't know who put it out, as in which
There was
tabloid post or which person?
There was a publication that did what do you call it when
Expose.
they did a 2-year thing checking this dude out, investigation. They even people
like a panorama type.
somebody I think one of the victims came to the paper and was willing to go back, which is why they have a recording, because they have a recording of him doing the thing.
Oh,
And they did a 2-year thing where basically all these women blah 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 blah, because a lot of them he's paid off 8 women
Wow.
in the past.
How many
so
women's come
this-
forward so far? It's like 32, right?
And so there's 8 women that he's paid off from before. So out of court settlements where, so obviously they've had to sign non-disclosure agreements. They're not allowed to say what happened.
you sign agreement now.
Take your money. There's,
You want to be in this film?
there you go. And then
You want to be a star.
Whoever came to the paper, they did their thing. They did what's the word?
Expose.
No,
Investigation.
I like that one better. They did the investigation and then they put it out, and then as soon as that investigation was put out,
They all came.
all the women that were afraid and thought that this man would destroy my career, which he could have, came out.
He admitted it though as well.
He said he's still saying
No,
I
he's
haven't done anything.
No, he said he hasn't raped anyone. He said he did the sexual assault. He admitted to that.
Now, obviously, sexual assault is wrong. Rape is wrong. But there are some of these things where he was asking, come into my room, give me a massage. If a woman, if you asked a woman, give me a massage, and she left, she could say that you were doing a thing. Would you accept that?
What?
No.
I don't understand what you're saying.
Some of these things we're saying, all right, so not all of them he touched any woman. Some of the people coming out are saying that he proposed to do things with me. He asked to do things with me, and I refused. He went way too far with it, don't get me wrong. So I'm not even pushing it as far as he went. I'm trying to stop it.
He made advances.
Yes.
Some were physical, some were verbal.
Yeah, some were, yes. So let's leave the allegations of rape out. Let's leave the allegations of physical abuse. He touched me, he rubbed me.
But why? Why would you leave them out?
Because all right, fine, we'll talk about it. Because you don't even know when I finish, then you can ask why
Why
did you leave it out?
Broad spectrum of things.
No. It's because there are things that he's done, and there are things that have come up in the light of this. Because it's not just him now. There are other women speaking up about other people in other industries as well. So it's not just movies; it's film and music, and things are getting exposed left, right, and center. Women,
Ben Affleck, boy, he got exposed.
women are feeling brave to expose. They're realizing that this is a good time. If they felt afraid before, now's a good time to let it out. It seems like the world is willing and ready to listen to what they have to say. And what do you think? All right, so let's just make it simple then. How? What is it? What kind of person does that? Because
with power, innit?
it's madness. Because this happened last week when we had started recording, but we didn't talk on it because it had just broke. And I said after, I think it was with you guys. I said, or maybe it was with my missus. I said, why didn't he just pay for Virgin? And then I'm hearing now that he did that as well. I said, you're rich, man. Just pay. If you want a woman, just pay for it. You don't have to be so
power,
lecherous.
man.
And people say that, but do you really do it just for power? I don't get it.
You know what it is?
It is power.
It does sound like now it's the season for the exposés. Everybody's coming out to say something about something. But in the entertainment industry, be it music, film, television, or whatever, it seems almost like the rhetoric or the norm. Because you've heard stories of the casting couch for years. You know, if you want to be in this movie, you know, get your tits out.
I still look at you strange all the time when you tell me you go for an audition and you come back a little bit
tired. A little bit tired. Ooh, was a tough audition. But yeah, the casting couch has been something that's been going on for years, from the early days of cinema. You know, if there's a beautiful young fresh filly just out and she wants to be
really like a horse, you know.
It's true, and she wants to be the next big thing. Yeah, come to the studio, come sit down, tell us a little bit about yourself. All right, now get your tits out. What else are you willing to do for
But you know what?
this film?
This kind of thing just shows that the nature of people, isn't it?
It's just
And it just shows the nature of people, because all that's happened here is that somebody has managed to gain position of leverage.
It's manipulation and
they're
the
using
highest
that
quality.
leverage to be recipient to things that they wouldn't normally be able to. It's like it's the word megalomaniac when you're stuck on power.
Yeah, but the worst thing about it, megalomaniac.
Yeah, megalomaniac.
The
That's what it is.
The worst thing about it is the individuals that give in to such
Well, not really, because
pressure.
What? So they're the problem.
No, I'm not saying they're the problem. I'm just
You
saying
said that's the worst thing.
The worst thing about it is that.
but desperation.
Okay,
isn't it?
no,
Yeah,
I
it
get what
is
you're saying. He didn't mean it.
I didn't say
victim
serve
shaming.
you right.
No, he was saying that is that's the worst part of this thing.
Because the thing is with this industry. No, the
Yeah,
thing
be
is with
clear,
this
boy.
industry. The thing is with this
Because I
industry.
got my eyes open like a wog.
Disclaimer.
Bear jam.
Mr. Wolf, you look confused.
No, I'm just listening in. It's a very interesting subject matter. And one thing that I will touch on, and what Webbs was alluding to, was the fact that the victims kind of, I wouldn't say that they're cast aside, but they're not thought of much. This is now become such a big story. The focus is now on the accuser, which it should be, but you still have to take time to think about the victims. And we got to remember that this guy has performed sexual acts on these people, so he is a sex fiend as far as I'm concerned. You know, he will be put on a sexual offenders register, I'm assuming.
I don't know. He hasn't got arrested for it.
No,
do they do that for adults, or if you just do something with
yeah,
children?
yeah,
They do it for anybody
Do it
that's
for
done
anybody.
If you're
anything
a sexual assault,
sexual.
of course you'd
Yeah.
be on a sexual offenders register.
I thought it's only when
No,
it's
no,
for
no,
children.
no.
Okay.
No.
Look at him scratching like he's worried. I'm gonna be on that register.
That's not even funny.
Look at him, but he does look like he's.
I told her to stand back from the yellow line.
Carry on.
No. I mean, that's what my thought process was. I was listening to you, man, say your piece, and I was quite interested in what Simple Simon and Webbs was having to say.
Okay, so do we think it's a power thing then? Because I mean, as in, are men just bastards and it's just repressed until we get power? And then all of a sudden, once you have the power, the bastard comes out.
I don't think it's just men.
Yeah,
I think
it's
women.
definitely not
will
just
do
men.
this as well. I think when you're in power, to that level of power.
But it's different if a woman does it. Nobody
Why?
cares.
Why is it
but
different if a woman
whether
does
or
it?
not-
No, of course it's different.
Whether
man.
or nobody cares or not, yeah, it is still a position of power. I think that when people get into this position of power and vagina comes your way so easily, you just assume that you can get it. And in these
Yeah, but
situations,
I don't think women
hold
are
on. And in these situations, of course, women assume now. They don't even have to have power to assume that they can get dick. They assume they can get dick
I'm
all
not
the
talking
time.
about whether you can get it or not. I'm talking about what he's doing.
Yeah, I'm saying that
Come to my room, jerking off in front of.
I think that women won't even need to have money to do this. I think women would just do this anyway. Like if they wanted to, they could just do this, and they wouldn't see themselves as necessarily doing sexual assault to a man.
which is why I say it's different.
Oh, yeah, but with in the other way around, I think a man in that position of power who thinks he can get away with anything because of the position that he's in, just does it for the thrill of it. I think that's his thrill now. Having normal sex or doing whatever he's doing is not as thrilling as having this powerful situation where he can make the girl do anything he wants, and having that power over that girl, knowing that she's doing this to him because she knows that if she doesn't, she won't be able to get that job.
How can you enjoy sex like that?
That's what I'm
People
saying.
enjoy things like that all the
Yeah,
time.
but that's-
Yeah, but that's
maybe
the
it's
thing.
not the sex. That's what. Maybe it's not the sex.
It's the
that's
power.
being
And
enjoyed.
that's-
Yeah,
and that's
it's
what
not
the
other
sex.
bit.
That's what they say about rape, innit? That
Yeah.
rape is a power thing. It's not about the actual sexual act. It's about the power.
My brain doesn't compute.
Yeah,
I'm
which
happy
is
it doesn't
good
compute.
because you're not a rapist, innit? But for them people, they say that it's the power.
Yeah, what Simple was saying is it tells you a lot about the behavior of the person, and that's what you got to really look deep into, is that these people are not normal.
Yeah,
They're
but then
sick individuals.
what-
So
does that mean you
point-
have
I
to
think
question their psyche?
Maybe it is normal.
Well, in that industry, it seems to be normal.
There's enough men that do this in powerful positions.
And I think that there are plenty men in powerful positions that don't do it.
You're always the defender, man.
The defender of the men.
But I still said something about that type of person, isn't it? Like
What, Jewish men?
no, joker. No, it says something about the type of person that can do that, or no, because all right, I'll put it to you like this. I would go as far as to say that there are a whole bunch of people who have this power and leverage thing, and a majority of them will probably abuse it, but there is a large minority that wouldn't, and the reason for that is just
A
because
large minority.
a large minority doesn't have to be a large minority. Means that if I say a minority, you automatically think it's really, really small. A large minority might be 49%. Do you understand what I'm saying?
This carry on, man.
Stav is doing a calculation in his head. You can
This carry on.
Yeah. So it says something about the nature of people, because not everybody will abuse the power in the same way.
Let me tell you where I think that definitely is a example of the power, yeah? Did you hear what happened to Terry Crews?
Yeah.
Right, Terry Crews is a big man.
6'2".
300 pounds. Wrestler.
Mr. Wolf did not
punks.
hear
Wrestler
anything
type. Yeah, I'm
about
going to tell you. So I'm going to explain to you now, right? So Terry Crews, after all of these allegations came out and said he had his own sexual assault, yeah? And I want you, man, to tell me what you would do in this situation because it's peak out here. Man was with his wife, I think at a baseball game or NFL game or somewhere anyway, out with his wife.
I think it was in a VIP section.
All right? And a movie producer came up to him and just squeezed his things in front of the wife.
Man or woman?
It wasn't. He didn't say it was in front of the wife. Have you read the actual messages?
It was a man.
Yeah.
Yes, a man.
I'm sure he said he did it in front of his wife.
No, his wife was there.
Okay, his wife was there.
But
then.
I don't think he was. He wasn't like. But he didn't put any emphasis on like my wife saw it. He had to. He told his wife about it. He did it. His wife was there.
So he touched his genitals in the open place, and he felt no way about doing it.
Oh.
He apologized the day after. He sent a message or something.
And obviously Terry Crews is a big man, and he said I could have smashed him into pieces, but then if I do that, all anybody's gonna see is a big black man beating up a white dude.
Yeah.
And then he's saying, "What about my career after I beat this guy up?"
Yeah.
So all of these things.
He
run
told
through
his
head.
wife. His wife said, "Hold it down." Innit?
And that's peak because that's a woman. She's saying that because she's probably, for her.
Let me do some victim
I'm
blame.
saying probably. Maybe she just thought exactly the same thing as him.
Let me do some.
If you beat this man up, you're gonna get arrested.
Let me do
your
some
career is gonna be over.
Let me do some victim blaming now. Yeah. What I'm interested in is how's this man comfortable enough to do that? Yeah.
Because it's a power thing.
He said he was drunk. He said he was drunk. He did it on the way to the toilet. He was walking to the toilet or something. He just squeezed it, went to the toilet.
Again, he thought he was that powerful that he could just do this.
Well, I have to do some victim blaming. If this was women, there would be victim blaming. So I'm trying to make it even. You know what I mean?
If you want to do that, but it's just like it's a madness.
What would you do?
I don't know. I would think that I would react violently, but it's hard to put yourself in such a horrible situation like that. Is it a man grabbing my balls? I'll tell you what. I mean, I have been a victim of assault.
We all have. That's the point. We all have.
Yeah, and
Have you? Have I?
Of course. You haven't been. I've been chased around clubs like Benny Hill.
Yeah, that's happened to me, bro.
Blatantly.
That's happened to me, bro.
Yeah, exactly. All of us have been taken advantage of by women in some way, shape, or form.
I've chased, but I've been.
I've had my genitals grabbed, my backside grabbed,
I've had my
arms stroked and chest stroked, all of those kind of
This
things.
2 years ago as well, 2016.
And felt no way about it. If I had someone like grab my chest and rub, I said, if I was to do that to you, would you be okay with it?
In front of his wife, it says it, by the way.
Did you feel dirty? Did you feel violated?
Yes.
You see, the thing is,
Nah, I didn't.
I felt away. You know why I felt away? Because I tried to make a habit of not touching people,
Okay.
and I'm particular about being touched at the same time.
So your producer walks up, powerful Hollywood producer. You're in a VIP section. You're with your missus. He walks up, gives you a little grab. Nobody sees it. Carries on about his business.
You're asking me a question?
Yeah, what would you do in this situation?
That's what the hell I was asking.
I'm not going to incriminate myself. You better ask somebody else.
So what, you would do something that may incriminate you?
I said you better ask somebody else.
Yeah, but it hasn't happened. So you don't have to. You can't incriminate yourself on something you haven't done.
I'll snitch on you anyway, so you might as well just say what it is. Simple
Simple turn and say Januar.
What do you mean, you joker? Nah, I don't know, man. Like, put it this way, something would have happened to him.
Ban fire upon the chichi.
Some different type of accident would have happened to him, and you'd be like wondering, what the hell? How did this happen?
Would it be like a street fire with birds and stars floating around?
Them way there.
Finish it.
Well, what would you do?
You can't let them violation there go, man.
Boy, I think I'll beat the shit out of him. That's my person. I think I'll do that. I don't know if I would be able to think in that moment whether or not I need to worry about the situation around me. I think I'll at least giving him as soon as he grabs me, I'm gonna punch him or I'm gonna grab him and be like, "What are you doing?" And then I'll switch. If I'm with the missus, she'll probably switch me out of it by saying what's happening, and then maybe I'll stop. But I think that day somebody's gonna get a blow because I don't see how you can just come up to me and just touch my thing.
Man grabs your tigs and someone's gonna get a blow. Okay.
Oh, it was.
I blow you. I blow you.
I blow you too.
Webbs?
Boy.
It's happened to him already.
What?
Jermaine.
Except he was in the casting office.
Like I said about the casting couch.
Man couldn't even answer.
What?
It's like he poked him in the throat.
It had.
And to all those on Twitter land, it's banter. All right, chill.
It is. It.
Don't chill. Chat-ish. Get banged.
Sexual assault has happened to me. I've been groped and touched by women, not by men.
Even if you was touched by it, I don't know why you're ducking out that one so quickly.
No, I have to duck out that one.
Big
quickly.
man Terry Crews can
that's what I'm saying.
can reveal it. You can let it be known as well.
if
But it hasn't happened to
We're
man.
here for you, bro.
If
We're
I'm
here
not.
for you.
You're not here
If
for
a
me.
man groped you,
tell us.
The man groped you in it. There's no shame in that. It's not like you.
Of course, there's shame. After we laugh, we'll
Them man get groped. Them football man get groped all the time.
Exactly. Football man get groped every day, get lips up and everything. Like, that's their business.
Bruv, I've seen man
Yes.
kiss man on the football pitch.
Yes.
Not on my football pitch where I'm playing, but when you watch on a Premiership, man will just go out when there's goal celebrations. Are you mad?
What, on the lips, bruv?
No, I don't care. What does it have to be anywhere when you kiss
on
me?
the
Hold
forehead,
on.
on the cheek.
Yeah, but
Bruv,
different.
if I'm
different
playing
cultures,
football,
innit?
Premiership
It's-
football, and you come and kiss me, I'm gonna punch you in the face. In the
I
middle
saw.
of the Premier.
It's funny enough.
Your own
Today,
teammate.
today I saw two guys kissing, and it wasn't they didn't.
You sit and
I
watch.
didn't believe that they were homosexual. It was just the
Take
cultural
notes.
thing. You know when they do the cheek.
Yeah, the two cheek.
Nah.
Yeah, that's a greeting.
You understand?
Innit? That's
yeah,
a greeting.
but different cultures do different things.
Yeah, but
right?
it's a greeting. If you are going to greet somebody and you know that's the greeting, I got no problem with that. When man scores a goal, like I score a hat trick, who asked you to come and to kiss me?
That
like?
is the greeting in football.
Nah, it's not my greeting. And them man let all them locker room culture where they're all whipping each other with
Slapping
towels
bums
and slashing
and
all
all
that
them
bums.
thing there.
Bruv, that's violation, innit? Why are you touching me for?
You know what? If you grew up in that culture, because that's just how it was. That's how it started. You went to school. You did some sort of semi-professional football, and that's what they just did. They did it here. They slapped you on the bum when you walked. The coach would slap you on the bum. Good luck, son.
Let me ask a question in relation to that, and let me answer the question as well.
Go on, answer the question first.
If the groping had happened, I'm not sure what I'd do. It'd be one of two things. I'd follow the guy to a private location and beat him up in private.
Okay.
No, because it's true. You can't really let someone get away with that.
Yeah.
In a public setting, you have to.
I
Look,
know the story. Does it involve a bottle? Oh, it does. Yeah. I know the story.
It's like I'm gonna pass out. You know, I can't even laugh anymore.
And leather trousers.
oh, we got to hear this story.
Sorry, man.
I need to hear the story.
No,
now.
you need to say it because I can't remember the ins and
But
outs.
before you do the story, on the second topic with this whole locker room issue, I'm gonna ask a question that might deem. I'm gonna ask it anyway.
Go on.
Is that introductory level to gay maneuvers?
What's that? That football thing?
The football thing, the whole slapping of the bottom.
Do you know
the whole
what?
stroking
Do you know what?
About
Let
2
me
weeks ago, I've been
let
telling
me-
you that football's a gay
Let me
sport.
I've
interject
said that
there.
from day.
What I was gonna say quickly
man's like, watch it,
before
gay
you came in, Webbs, was that there is a few. I think there's 2 court cases going on at the moment about child abuse and sexual abuse in football.
Within football, yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, so it's quite prevalent, and it was back in the day, not so much now. But when you have,
I think it'd
kids,
be more now.
Nah, I think not so much
Do you know
now.
how much money's involved in this sport?
I know.
Of course it's going to be more
but
now.
It's not even how much money is involved in the
level
sport,
just
it's how
got
much
higher.
money is involved in.
I don't believe
in
it's
that
happening
culture.
so much now, but we'll have to wait and see for something to come out. But when you have the dream, the dream of your child looking to play football, and then they send them to the football clubs, and what they do, there's something called digs where they live with a family, or they give their child basically over to the coach of the team. And there was a couple of coaches in particular that took advantage of those situations. So there's a lot of professional football players who are now retired who have come out to say that they were sexually abused.
Bro,
man.
I'm
So-
telling you.
It happens. Of course it happens. In all sports.
It ain't safe no more.
In sports, in TV, in radio, in music,
In life,
people are getting sexually assaulted.
people's uncles and aunts
Yeah.
have been doing this.
Look, there's a
It
certain
happens in the office and
hundreds of
office
years.
culture.
There's a certain set of human beings that if you give them that leverage, they're gonna do
What they can, innit?
deviant shit with it.
And all of them are in a position of
But
power,
this is
even
my-
if it's minute power.
Because what we have to take into account is that 1 out of every 3 women has been abused in some way, shape, or form.
That's fucked up,
Yeah,
you know,
sexually.
bro.
So it's not.
1 in 3 in the world.
Yeah.
That's, you know how much that is?
Yes.
AIDS is like 1 in 4. Do you get me? And we're supposed to be scared of that. 1 in 3 is massive.
Yeah, but people don't even see sexual assault as...
talk to your friends, ones that you think will
No,
open up to you.
but my
they will
female
tell
friends,
you,
yeah.
my uncle used to touch me on the, when I was younger. My school teacher did this, and whatever. One ex-boyfriend used himself on me one time.
I used to work in the youth services, and I've heard some
crazy stories.
Heartbreaking stories. That the fact that you as a classroom facilitator or a teacher want to go and find the individual and move to them.
Look at the priest.
Oh my God, don't even start with that. And then the thing about it is, these people are growing up broken in their heart in certain capacities, in certain ways that they're dealing with their communication with men or women, depending on who it is. And then because people don't know about their history, people are saying, why are you like this? Why are you like that? And it's hard for them to say, well, because I've been sexually assaulted, I'm a bit funny about dealing with men, or I'm a bit funny with dealing with women. But they have to go into their day-to-day life, and their attraction still is to men or to women, so they still want to do dating. But because they haven't really sorted all of this out in their own brain,
they've got that like mental blocks.
Yeah, they've got something in there that's making it a bit difficult for them to go with their day-to-day, man.
And the thing is, sorry to jump in there. When some of those people have the courage to actually be quite upfront and open with it, we don't know how to receive it because it's not common. It's not something that is commonly spoken about. So when
it is though.
But when they actually say to you, "Oh, this is because this is what happened," nobody is prepared for the conversation that leads after that. They're kind of like, "Oh, I'm really sorry," and then they will kind of want to get off the subject. If you get what I'm saying,
it's always an uncomfortable conversation.
But because what do you do in certain situations when people tell me things? I do not know what to do.
Let me tell you what you do. And because I've been in this situation before, all you can do is lend the ear. The number one thing that I tried to do in that situation was to make them feel comfortable enough to tell you. So if they're comfortable enough to tell you in the first place, that's a good spot to be. Don't feel like you're pressured to have a conversation. Just tell them if you want to continue to talk, if you feel comfortable, please do so. My ear is here for you, and I'm here for you, and that's it.
You also don't make them feel like they're to blame in any way for the situation.
To be honest with you, you're supposed to be listening. You're not supposed to be.
You're
not
just
supposed
there
to
to
be
listen.
asking any questions too tough. You should really just
Because we all here have been with more than one woman in our life. So one in, not at the same time. Not at the same time. Well, maybe at the same time. But so if it's one in three. Well, if it's 1 in 3, then the likely.
I did wonder if Michael Jackson had a threesome, with 2 women. I can see it happening.
Probably.
Do you think he had a threesome with Bubbles?
No.
Can we?
Bubbles banging. Okay, let's go.
If it's 1 in 3, then the likelihood is that we have all been with a woman who has been sexually assaulted.
Yep.
And then you've got to kind of, like you said, Wahala. Maybe some of their characters and maybe some of their behaviors is a reaction as to what has happened in the past.
And this is the thing now. All these women that's in this, let's say this guy that's sexually assaulted all these women, they have to go to their day-to-day life working in an industry where this man is walking past them all the time.
Yeah, and just looking at them.
Yeah.
Saying, you're right, love.
She might have to then get another job for another film, and it's his film again, and she has to go to see him again, and then he's gonna be like, "Oh, remember the last time?" and blah blah blah. It's a madness,
There was one that came out recently, and she said that when she first started in the industry, he invited her to his hotel room, tried a thing. She got out eventually without actually anything physical happening. And then years later, he had to ask her, did something happen? Because
he didn't know.
Yeah, because he couldn't remember.
He's been through so many and done so many drugs.
He couldn't remember.
And you know what? He's a horrible looking man as well.
Yeah, well, that's what.
Have you seen his wife?
No,
she's beautiful, man.
He's got money and he's got power, so that's what I'm saying. It's a madness.
And the mad thing about this whole power thing is, it's not the fact that you're in a position of power. It's what the power does to your psyche.
Nothing. Yeah. This is my point. You cannot. Power can't make you do those things. It has to be in you,
within you,
and then the power.
But that's the power's brought it out.
It's like an unlock code.
No.
I want to know what's going on with the leather trousers. By the way, let's not go past that.
It has to be part of you already, and then the power allows you to feel that I'm brave enough now, or brazen enough, or I can get away with doing it.
No, because there's been people that have done it, and they're not in positions of power, but
they are.
It's the people that are in position of power that can get away with it.
You have to understand that the position of power isn't what you're talking about, like a global definition. A power happens in every little circumstance.
Yeah, it could
So,
be
Your uncle's a powerful man.
There's
Your
the dynamics
your coach
of power.
Your boss
is
at
power.
work.
Yeah.
Your, even your,
Or
anything,
even just
man.
older. I'm just older than you.
Yeah.
I have the
it's
power.
leverage. Wherever there's leverage, you
But
can-
with this Weinstein situation, like I said about the industry, it's like you said, Stavros. It's life. It happens in life. Whether you're in the sporting industry, the music industry, whatever industry, if there's someone in a position of power or someone that has any hold over you in any way, they will abuse that by doing what they want to do and walk away, and you can't do nothing.
No, but
Or you
listen,
how
feel
long have you
helpless.
been with his wife?
I don't agree. I don't think that every single person with the power does it. I think it takes a certain type of person for that to happen.
But the power creates the psyche to
No.
do.
No,
That's
the
what I
person,
believe.
the person has a disposition towards
They've
it.
got the
There's-
disposition, but that's the switch.
No. They've got a disposition towards it.
There's a wicked documentary about an American football team in America that from white coach, black team and blah 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 blah. But he says something in the beginning that I love. He says, and I'm paraphrasing, and I'm gonna not do it justice, but he says, if you feel that playing football, in this case American football, builds character, you're wrong. It doesn't build character. Football doesn't build your character. It reveals character.
Okay,
So if you were a strong, passionate person in the first place, maybe I couldn't see it when you're doing your work, or I couldn't see it when you're with your partner, or I couldn't see it with your family. But when you're playing this game, I will see the real you
The power
inside.
reveals it.
No, the game reveals the power inside you. Whatever happens, if you're lazy, then I'll see it when you play the game. If you're the never give up attitude, I'll see it when you're playing the game. And this is it. It's what is inside you already. He says the game doesn't make you. You are who you are anyways. The game just shows me who you are. It shows me what's inside. And that's what it is with this abuse. This is what was inside you in the first place.
So it's like steroids.
The behavior of the person
Yeah.
will always come out. And
What
just,
happened
just
with them leather trousers?
I will touch on that leather trouser thing in a second. I
Does
just
make
wanna-
you want to ask
I
his
just want to
childhood.
speak about his wife though, quickly.
Yeah, she left.
She's been with him for 10 years
Yes,
or
10
so.
years, 10 years.
And how long is this? He's been paying people off. How many people did he pay off?
8.
He's had for years, bruv.
I wonder for how long a period he's been paying these people off, because his wife would have knowledge of this.
Not
So
necessarily.
Why? Why does she have to
No,
know?
not necessarily.
Why do you assume that? Do you think that every woman must know what their man is doing? They
It's not
don't
like
even
he's
know
gonna-
when they're cheating on them, let alone when they got to go and pay off women.
Okay,
It's
well,
not like he's gonna come
apparently-
home and she's say, "How was
So
work today, babe?"
I like where you're going with it though.
Yeah,
if you knew about it
because
before,
if-
why is she leaving now?
So no, it's one or two things that if she did know about the payoffs, so we can't just assume that she didn't know about it. So if she did know about the payoff, the question is, why is she only leaving now? And secondly, maybe she's leaving now because she now feels brave enough to do so. So maybe that power that he elevated over all of these women, he did the same with his wife.
I'm
so maybe
assuming
he's
that-
been abusing his wife as
I
well.
don't know about necessarily abusing her, but I'm almost certain
be
that
some
he's-
kind of
he's
mental
used,
abuse
He's
or
used his
physical
power
abuse.
over her in
Yeah.
some way. Apparently, when the way that people talk about this man, I was listening to some on Radio 4. People talk about him. They just described him as a bully. He's a bully in every aspect of the way. He's a bully. When people work for him, he was screaming and shouting at them, telling them, "I'm gonna fire you if you don't." He's a proper bully.
This woman
That's
called
what it
him God, though. They laud him like he's something.
is. He was
like,
big in the industry.
Them two things usually go
He's
hand
a
in
very
hand.
powerful man.
Look at Russell Simmons. And who's the white one that he worked with before? Jimmy. Not Jimmy. Who's the other one? The one that worked with the Simmons, the Def Jam,
What's his face?
the
again?
tall one.
Rick
Rubin. Yeah.
No, not sorry.
Oh,
not Def
what's his name? Leo Collins.
Jam. Leo. If you hear how people talk about him,
Yeah,
they
Leo
say
boy.
he just shouts at you. He's like blah blah blah.
No,
He
they
does all the-
never said that Leo shouts. They always said he used to speak like this.
No.
He's very stern.
Okay. All right. I've heard enough interviews of people that work with him that say he will cuss you down. He will just cuss you down. Like, what you do in my office? Get out. Move. Do this. Do that. And he says he does that for you for the first few years, and you just have to deal with it. And then you get to a point where it's like, you're on my level now. I don't talk to you like that.
That's
Even
like Dame
even
Dash.
even Noriega, he said that he had a beef with Noriega in the beginning because what did he say? He said he brought him to his house and he said, "You see this house? You see this house?
Yeah,
Unless
yeah.
you do it, you're never gonna have this
His
again."
house
in your
is-
life."
yeah,
He said
yeah.
he was just very blunt. Anyways, are we gonna go into the story or
Yeah,
we're gonna...
we'll go in it. But to be honest, I don't think it's that funny anymore, because I think it's the fact that of who it happened too. So it
we'll
is.
tell them offline, or
Once upon a time there were 11
Yeah, tell them off.
All right. We're gonna cut this. Then it's not there.
Yeah, because
we're not gonna cut it. We're just gonna tell them offline. But all right, I'm just gonna change the thing slightly. We had a question that was sent in, and it is around this topic. We'll flesh it out. I'm very interested to hear what Mr.
About the same
Wolf has to say
topic?
about this. Yes.
Oh wow.
All right.
Who, me?
Well, it's the same and different. All right. There's an article by Vulture magazine. A Hunter Harris has written an article, and the title is "Stop Mentioning Your Daughters When You Denounce Harvey Weinstein." Right, something happened when a dude has a daughter. Women, once mystifying, vexing creatures with shoe racks, eyelash curlers, and vagina holes, become fully formed, three-dimensional human beings. The mere and sudden fact of fatherhood pushes men into a new realm of cognizance. It goes on to say, all of a sudden, when a man has a daughter, all of a sudden you can understand sexual abuse. And he says that many of the men that have come out to denounce Harvey Weinstein have said, as the father of a daughter, I have 2 daughters, this is disgusting. I have 3 daughters, I can't imagine something like this happening. I have a daughter, blah, blah, blah. It's like, you don't have to mention the fact that you have a daughter. Why do you have to mention that? It's like, would it make any difference? He's saying that a lot of the people only seem to understand it because they have daughters. If you didn't have daughters, it's like it wouldn't mean anything to you.
I don't know if I think that's too far with the way that they're saying that.
Well, that's what they're saying.
Yeah, well, I'll completely disagree with that.
And people have tweeted this. Has got thousands and thousands of retweets.
What I tend to think, especially with Twitter, when somebody runs with something.
This is a magazine article, by the way.
But you know that magazine articles can trend and all these kind of things.
Yes.
People will just flock to the thing, whether it carries any substance or not. And I don't think that this one does. I think that on a personal level, when it comes to women and injustices and assaults and things like that, before I had a daughter, I had a mother.
And you know what? But they say it's the same thing. Doesn't matter. Well, whichever one you say.
Yeah.
I've got a mother.
So the point that I'm making is that it makes no difference whether I have a daughter or not.
I'm with him.
You
That's
understand
exactly
what I'm saying? It makes no difference. So all.
It's not just daughter. They're talking about any form of reference to a woman. Why is that the reason now why you understand sexual assault?
That is not the reason why I understand sexual assault.
Why bring it
It's
up?
just as simple as that.
But then why bring it up?
Why are the people bringing it
I
up?
think the reason why some men will bring it up is that it may hit home more because they think about their own being in that situation.
But that's exactly what they're saying. That is the point of this article.
What's wrong though?
I don't see what the problem is there, because for me it's life. It's almost as if I see a kid being killed around Croydon,
that's my son.
then I'm thinking, my son was there. My that could have been my son.
All right,
it could have been my brother. It could have been my cousin. So it's just a matter of almost putting someone that someone that is close to you, in that situation and feeling
empathy.
Simple
but why
things.
do they have to make a difference between whether it's male or female? Because assault can happen to a male as well.
Yeah,
as
but
it can happen to anyone.
We're talking about this particular subject. So let me give it to you a way that you'll understand it. Now, I agree with you, Mr. Wolf. But I'm like this with near enough everything. And I don't think most people are actually like this with everything. So I understand what this person is saying. It makes sense to me. As much as I disagree with it, it makes sense to me. But you will hear... All right, let me give you an example now that maybe might make sense to you. A black person goes through life getting stopped by the police multiple times. And their white friend brushes it off, doesn't understand it, doesn't get it. Now, us as black people that have all been stopped in cars by police might talk to our white friend and they like, it's whatever, innit? You tell them whatever, you give them your details and you go about your business. And you tell them, no, but I've been stopped twice in the last, month. They're like, yeah, but, probably, your car's a bit raggedy, innit, blah, blah. And they don't get it. They don't get it. Until they're in the car with you because you travel to work every day and then you get stopped. And they're like, oh, I understand it now. Now, would you say you should have got it in the first place? If I told you I got stopped 7 times in the last 4 months, shouldn't your brain just work it out? Or would you say, no, because you've never been in a car with a black person?
Well, the thing is,
you don't understand it unless you live it.
I don't expect white people to get it when it comes to this all the time. There are some people that will, and that will have this kind of understanding straight away, but not everybody will.
Okay, then you stop. What about you? Simple. would you expect once you've explained it that they should get it?
But for the same reason that he said, no, because people live off their experiences.
Okay. Webbs?
White people aren't racially profiled.
So you're saying the same thing I'm saying.
I'll expect them to get it.
So
You'd expect them to get it, but if they don't,
But that's not the question whether or not they will or they won't. He asked me, will I expect them to get it? If I told you that I get stopped 10 times a day, and it's not like it's not common knowledge to the world that black people get stopped more times than any other race, I'd expect them to get it.
all right. So this is I've made it very specific. If we flesh it out and the news says it, the statistics say it, black people get profiled, black people get stopped more, black people get shot more, black people get arrested more. But white people don't necessarily look at it like that. It's not in their radar. And many black people, whether you call them social justice warriors or super pro black or whatever it is, says these white people need to understand the situations we're in. How can you not get it? Why are you not fighting on our behalf?
Go on, simple.
this is not my life.
So at the same time as the news and the reports and statistics are saying that black people get stopped more, and Theresa May's saying they're more in prison and all the rest of it,
Yes.
and you expect them to get it.
Yes.
In that same media, black people are shooting people, black people are stabbing people, black people are rubbing down in Hatton Gardens. So as far as they're concerned, the two things add up.
And on top of that, I'll go as far as to say, we all are part of social media. I'm on WhatsApp quite a lot. There's a video that went around about, I think there was a line of all different cultures, white people, black people, Hispanic people, and this guy was asking questions to these people. Stay on the line. Move one step forward if you've had a private education. Move one step forward if you've never been stopped by the police in the car. And each time the white folks are moving forward. Yeah, and by the time they moved forward, I think it was about 10 steps. The whole idea was to get $100 at the beginning of it. Everybody was on a level playing field.
Yeah,
and then he asked these questions. And before he got them to do the race, he said, turn around and look. And he said that these questions, it was something like these questions, I can't remember what.
He said all the questions I've asked you have absolutely no bearing on you, your personality, or the type of person you are.
Yep.
They're all just things that have happened in your life.
Okay, so take that.
You had no choice. You had no choice in whether you had a private education. You had no choice whether police stopped you. You had no choice whether, because he asked, did you ever fare this or that? Did you ever fare?
Take that.
For that reason, that's why I can't understand why he would expect them to know.
Well, I would expect them
Because they do not know.
I think they know. I don't expect them to care.
It's outside of the reality.
No, I think they know. I think they don't care. That's the difference between me and maybe other people. I think they know and they don't care, or they choose to ignore.
Because it's not their life.
Yeah. So I'm not pretending like they don't know. They know. They do not care and they choose to ignore. That's me. I'm not giving them the benefit of the doubt that they don't know. They know. So with regards to sexual assault, if you did that same thing and you had a line of men and a line of women lined up and started asking questions like, have you ever been sexually assaulted at work? A lot of men are going to stand still. A lot of women might move forward. Have you had sexual advances towards you when you didn't like it? A lot of men may stand still. A lot of women will go forward.
I think all the men would move forward.
Yeah, but I'm talking about. But you understand what I'm saying. Yeah. So
have you ever been stalked in a club? Have you ever been? Yeah. Have you ever been worried at night walking down? Did you have to worry about what you're wearing in case somebody was gonna
exactly?
I
think that in the end, that's what they're trying to say. So I think with regards to, because we're going off now, going to race. Let's go back to the topic at hand. Yeah, I think in this situation, I agree with Stav, right? And Mr. Wolf, I suppose. I think you can say that. I don't care. If it's what's taking you to understand, it has to be the birth of your daughter, I don't care. Now you understand, right? In that situation, you understand now. And if you feel like you have to say as a father or as a husband or as a son, I understand this situation, then say it. The fact is that you're saying that you understand the situation and now you're trying to make a turn about it. I would prefer if people knew before that they had a child. And I think most people probably do.
Which I have said.
And I think most people probably do. But I think when you have that daughter, I don't have a child. So I'm going by what I expect you as fathers to feel when your child comes out and you have that undying need to protect your child. So in your head now, things that were maybe a distance away from you is now at touching distance. Where before it was maybe so far away from you wouldn't even think about it.
I think I like that way of putting it. Something wasn't in your face before, now it's in your face. And when something's in your face, it makes more sense. You just get it more.
Yeah, you now have to worry about when your daughter's going out. Before you didn't have to worry about when your daughter was going out. You might worry about when your wife's going out. You might worry about when your mum's going out. But at least they were adults, and as much as they're your family, you do not feel that same protection as you do your child, I'm assuming. Right? So you're going to feel a bit different. You're going to be wondering what's going to happen now when my daughter wants to go to a club. Am I going to have to worry about a man touching her? Is she now going to be sexually assaulted just because she's walking on the way to work? Stuff like that is now going to hit you a lot harder.
I think if you look at it, that if a sane, sensible, and a man that keeps his hands to himself, his brain is not focused on what kind of abuse is a woman that's my female friend that's next to me going to catch. What kind of abuse, physical, sexual abuse is let's just stick with my female friend.
No, I think you should, because I don't know about you, but my female friends will tell me.
Yeah,
so
but
unless you decided that you're just not going to acknowledge what they're saying to you.
Let me finish. What you just said, whereas it's not at the front of your mind, if it's not at the front of your mind. So your daughter will be at the front of your mind. Your female friend is not. Your female friend is going out all the time. Let's say you have an adult child, a 16-year-old, 17-year-old, 18-year-old child. She's going out all the time, and you can match your 18-year-old child with your 40-year-old friend. Your friend is going out all the time. You're not watching what she's doing. You're not clocking what she's doing. She's an adult, same as your 18-year-old daughter's an adult. But your daughter's your daughter. So my friend goes out. She's an adult. She can look after herself, and you hope she looks after herself. You hope nothing happens, but the thought that something is going to happen is not the first thing in your mind.
Yeah, the emotional connection is different.
It's not the first. So for me, the person that wrote this article and the people that are sending these tweets, I'm going to be a bit harsher than Mr. Wolf and be like, you need to.
How was I in a WhatsApp thing? I was a bit harsh.
Yeah, you was harsh there, boy.
Yeah.
I think the word was nonsense.
Okay, well, you didn't say that on the mic, so I don't want to put you in it. But for me, it's like you have to look at it. If a man is on your side and all you're saying is, you're not on my side enough, you didn't come to my side in time, you don't get what my side is here, I don't even want you on my side. It's like, pick your battles. Pick your battles. If you feel that somebody is on your side, then why are you chastising them?
Because they're not on your side the way you want them to be on your side.
This is not life. This is what social justice warriors.
They didn't get there how they want. They didn't get there by the road that I want you to get there by. So it's not the same.
I think it's different. I think maybe they might be speaking about certain men that's potentially have done things in the past.
Then that's a whole different.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people do think like that. You was a sexual predator at the beginning, and now you've had the daughter. No longer you're a sexual predator. I think that's what people link that to. I think even if you read the article a bit more, it's actually put there that they were saying, well, all these men that was, potentially in the past done sexual things, and they now look at it like, wow, I did sexual assault when I was younger. I would never do that now. I've got a daughter. I think that's what people see when they actually hear it. But I think a lot of men just say, wow, I got a daughter now. I'm not even going to think about all of that. Like, imagine if I went out to, like, you think like that. You must do. Boy, imagine if this was my daughter and I just did what I did with this girl. Exactly. It doesn't even have to be sexual assault. It could be anything.
All right. We've been speaking about this for nearly an hour, so let's move on. You had something about UK music.
Yeah, man. So my man Rex 3-2 just came out today, innit?
Have you actually listened to it?
Yes.
Yeah, it's all right.
Nah, it's fire, bruv.
It's not fire.
I like Rex, bruv.
And you said what's his name wasn't even Giggs. Giggs' album was all right.
You like Giggs' album?
Yeah, it's fine.
I think it's
It's all right,
listen. Let me tell you something about Giggs' album. Yeah, there was a song called Peligro, and Dave just destroyed the whole album in one verse. Destroyed the whole thing.
Yeah, well, Dave
like murk it. When I say murk the album, I mean ashes, everything dust after he smokes.
It was bad. Santander was wicked, man.
And they can't continue with
So how about now? I'm saying, do you
UK
think
Love Fest?
Do you think that we spoke about previous this year? You've had we spoke about what's his face already? Stormzy.
Yeah.
Stormzy already. We spoke about it many times already. Jay Huss. This Rich album, which I think is very good. We didn't even talk about
Chip when his album come out.
We did talk about Chip.
I think we talked after the podcast finished.
And then we've got now for me Rich as well, and Giggs. If you like Giggs' album, a lot of people do like Giggs' album. I just think it's all right.
I liked his album.
I think it's all right. I don't like the flows. Same flows for me. It doesn't change. I get a bit bored. But I think that the level of UK rap is just going up a level more and more. Like it's consistently good now. I don't think that there's a lot of rubbish. But another thing I want to touch on is, I don't know if you've been seeing all of this. I don't actually know where it's come from, but a lot of people are mentioning Michael Dapra. Is it Michael Dapra? That's his name.
Yeah.
All over the place.
Yeah, I'm mentioning him and getting upset because he seems to be getting bigger shine than some of the UK rappers that's out now. And they're saying that he shouldn't really be getting this shine because he's obviously a parody. That's the correct word, isn't it? Parody, sorry.
That's a parody.
Of a rapper. And they're using him as the benchmark. And these other guys are getting upset about that.
Man, shut up, other guys. Shut up. He's a comedian and he's getting shine on a comedian level.
Wait, it was on the bet Cypher.
Bet, you know. It sound like a word.
I always say bet, man. B.E.T. then Cypher. I haven't got no time to be saying B.E.T. Why? When
we
say bet?
should talk about that Eminem thing then.
Yeah, we could talk about rubbish as well.
Ooh, rubbish. Because it'll be interesting.
It's not necessarily rubbish.
We'll get to it. This UK thing, I think, wonderful, all good. I think we're paying a bit more attention to it now than we did in the past.
What's the show where the Roots are playing on the
Jimmy Fallon.
Jimmy Fallon.
Did you see the Jimmy Fallon one?
Yeah, Blackfoot was there doing it. Blackfoot, the legendary MC, baddest MC.
I had an argument with somebody at work yesterday. He said that Blackfoot was better than Eminem, and I disagreed with him.
Oh, you're a mad person. Blackfoot is 20 times better than Eminem.
No, no,
you're not on my side, man.
Are you talking technical ability here?
Definitely.
No.
If it's technical ability, then
No.
Hold on.
No.
You just said
No.
you don't like Giggs has only got one style. So 90% of what Blackfoot does
I watch
is not
Eminem.
one
I watch
style.
Eminem.
Eminem has rapped in about 12 different
Nah.
styles
But,
on
bruv,
the same album.
Yes, Eminem is alright, yeah? He's good. He's alright.
It's alright.
He's alright, yeah?
Well, Hala clearly is not a big fan. bruv.
Please, don't ever link him to the legendary man that is Blackfoot. Blackfoot.
Eminem's herbal tea.
He's alright.
He's Darjeeling, isn't he?
No, because for me, I find Eminem so boring after a while.
You know,
Hang on.
I told this man that.
What song was it that you? There was a song that you went mad over.
Oh yes, Eminem. No, yeah, the one with Lil Wayne.
Yeah.
I'm saying Eminem is a bad boy lyricist, and that was the one where he switched flows about 4 times in the same song.
Oh, but he only does one flow, yeah.
But yeah, that's one.
In one song.
Wait, he did about 4 flows.
He did 4 flows.
Okay, I'm lying. I just wanted to prove my point. Yeah.
That's why I just had to laugh here.
Even when I'm wrong, I get my point across.
They predicted me the balls, but you can't tell me no. He's not better than.
I
Blackfoot.
can.
He's not better than
Okay,
Blackfoot.
can we just have a show of hands?
Does everybody know Blackfoot enough to do this
I
conversation?
haven't watched the whole thing.
What thing?
Yeah, but you
no.
know-
What are you talking about the whole thing, bro?
I'm dizzy, blood. I'm dizzy. I'm dizzy, bro.
That's why I know you just don't pay attention to what's going on around you.
Yeah, I'm dizzy.
We're talking about, in general, who's better out of Blackfoot?
I thought you were talking about the thing on B.E.T or B.E.T.
What his freestyle gets?
Yes.
Boom, 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 boom. Really? Okay.
No.
Mr. Wolf,
Who's a better rapper?
you've listened to Blackfoot, right?
He doesn't know the roots of Blackfoot enough.
Of course
to
I
answer
do,
this
bro.
question. Not enough to answer this question.
Well, maybe.
But all right, and from your knowledge, Blackfoot of the Roots, the lead rapper of the Roots, or the only rapper of the Roots now, and versus Eminem, who do you feel
Marshall
is better?
Mathers, Slim Shady.
I've got to go with technicalities, man. To me, it's hands down.
Who?
Who's the most technical rapper?
Who are you saying
Who
is
do you
the
think
most
is the
def-
most
No,
technical
who are
rapper?
you saying is the most technical
It's
rapper?
obvious, though,
The
innit?
question has been asked to you,
He's
so
not-
answer it.
Apparently, it's not so obvious.
Eminem's not even the best in his crew.
It's Eminem, man. Yeah, but that's not the point, is it, bruv?
I think Royce of 5'9" is better than Eminem.
That's exactly what this dude said as well. I told
Blatantly
you.
better than
And
Eminem.
I said nope.
Royce Nickel,
No.
bruv.
No.
Royce 5'9" is better than
No,
Eminem.
no,
I
No.
like Royce, though.
no. Simple and Webbs.
Them boring albums that
Come
he
on, come
produced. One good album. I actually listened to it the other day, and if you try to release that album now, boy, jeez.
This conversation is just mirroring this dude. He said there's one good album. I said, what? So the Mushroom Rifles is good? He's like, no.
The Mushroom Rifles album is alright.
I said, I'm not.
But the Slim
I said,
Shady
I'm
LP
not
is the
actually-
album.
I'm not actually paying any more attention to what you're saying.
No, the Mushroom album is good. It's good. But the
But you
Slim
just
Shady
said
album.
you just said he had one good
I
album.
said, yeah, for me, it's. Oh, God. I like the Slim Shady LP, yeah?
You lied to me.
I like the Slim Shady LP.
I'm not listening to you anymore.
Why don't you like Slim Shady, bro?
Simple Simon and Web
Boring.
Slinger.
I'll come back to me after.
Now he's boring. Yes, I'm not arguing with you there.
But it was boring from when the third album.
Come on. Ooh yeah.
From the third album.
Come on, man. Who's better? Let's spit this out.
I'm gonna go with Black Thought. I like Slim, but I'm gonna go with Black Thought.
It's the legendary Roots crew.
I don't know Black Thought enough to.
Okay, that's fair enough.
You need
That's
to
fair
listen
enough.
to some.
So
Black
it's 2 versus 2.
Actually, look like him, actually.
Listen to some Black Thought.
man. Listen, he went toe to toe with Pun.
True.
And Eminem couldn't.
Listen,
Eminem
Pun-
that beat Jay-Z.
Slim is good. Slim is good. Eminem is good.
I'm not still on this renegade
But
business.
fair enough. Jay-Z himself said that.
I don't care what Jay-Z
Jay-Z
said.
said Eminem beat me himself.
I don't care what Jay-Z said.
Because I'm like you. I actually think Jay-Z was better in that song. But everybody else.
In Renegade.
I don't think Renegade
Yes,
verse
yes.
that Eminem did was special in any way, shape, or
I
form.
think Jay-Z was better than Eminem. In
I think
Renegade
both of them
verse.
wasn't even that special on that whole song.
Who sang that?
Might
song
even be
anyway?
the worst song on that
Renegade is JC and
Renegade.
No, Return of the Mac.
album. What's his name?
Mark
innit?
Morrison.
Mark Morrison.
I think you
Wait,
look like
why
One
him.
of the
did you
best.
go-
I look
Who
like Mark
looks like Mark Morrison?
Looking at Wahala a little bit, you know.
I do.
You look like him.
I don't look like Mark Morrison.
No.
Have you noticed that Wahala's nose? It's like, you know, them people outside the pub that you know have been drinking all their life, and because if you see an alcoholic,
They
white
got
man,
wine nose.
their nose starts bumping.
It's what
and
you're saying that if
he
he
has
was
like
if,
they look like
if
a
he was
boxer.
white, then it will be
You
red.
No, it's already
to
started.
me.
It is
You
red
look
already.
like the brother from what was that? Streets of San Francisco. Do
I
you remember
don't know.
that TV show?
If you're gonna
Remember the
insult
white
me,
brother?
insult me. You
No.
think that people can
What
understand?
was
innit?
his name? What was his?
Wow.
If I remember his name, I'll tell you.
Fergie, you should call me Fergie, Red Nose or whatever they call Fergie.
Is your
Wine
nose
nose.
red?
No, I don't know what you people are talking about my nose for now.
Yeah,
I don't
Alex
wanna-
look a bit
Ferguson,
like
yeah.
Rudolph.
Enlighten me.
You were the one that was kissing the mum under the Christmas tree.
Ooh.
Oh dear.
So I don't think I'll fit down the what's it called though.
I
can't stop.
Damn your presents.
So you're feeling this retro?
Get some butter.
I'm feeling the Retro 2 album, man.
Somebody get some
I like
lime.
His and Hers as well. Bad Boy song.
I think I like the second half of the album. The last third is decent.
Yeah, I like His and
He
Hers.
sings singing a bit a lot now, isn't it?
Yeah, he's singing quite a bit. But he sang quite a bit in his first album as well. I
His first album-
really
his first
like
album-
his first album.
his
Black
first
and
album
White
was
is
good.
very
Yeah,
good.
First album
His
was very
first
good.
album.
Yeah.
Bad.
New Wu-Tang today as well. But let's stay with the UK. Yeah, so I don't know. I think that the UK guys are taking it up another level. Jay Haas, I'm liking his album. I'm liking all the albums that's coming out. All the albums, and they're still supporting each other, which is another thing I like. Everyone's supporting
Apart
one another.
Wiley ain't good.
No, apparently Wiley came out the other day and was saying he's never going to talk about Dizzy again. Because I think after Major Ace died, he just said, you know what, I'm not talking about Dizzy again. This is my brother, blah, blah, blah. This album wasn't that good either, to be honest, as well. He's probably the worst one of the
And
crew.
that was called
Godfather. No, he wasn't called Godfather.
Wiley's album.
No, Dizzy, I said.
Okay. No, because Wiley had an album this year too.
Yeah, his one wasn't that good either.
It was called Godfather, innit? Yeah, it wasn't.
I just think that these guys are just doing their thing.
Properly.
Do you understand? Good music, good albums, and they're pushing through product consistently. So, what's his name's bringing out a new album
They're
soon as
producing
well.
to a higher level. They're producing to a higher level.
Stormzy is going to be bringing out a new album soon as well.
Is
So,
it?
Yeah, he's working on a new album, bruv.
Damn.
Exactly.
He's not mucking about, is he?
He's not mucking about.
He has to, man, because right about
because
now...
he's hot.
Yeah, he's
like
very hot.
fire, bruv. So bring out album back to back, just like Jay-Z done. You know, I'm not overly excited by it, like Wahala is, but I'll give credit where it's due, man.
But
They're just
you're
bringing out
more
products.
of an oily chest R&B listening man.
As what you may think.
Tyrese,
You understand? Because
Tyrese, brother.
because when I was playing those hardcore hip hop tunes outside your I think it was your engagement, I was in the car with Webbs, mate, and you didn't know the tunes.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Excuse me,
I
bro.
can imagine him playing
Don't be
hardcore hip hop
fooled, man.
songs and he's still shaving his
Shut up your mouth there. If you're gonna insult me, know what you're saying.
Yeah, I don't even know the insult was coming now. Let me leave the insult alone.
Just sticking on the hardcore hip hop thing. You know that we all have a hatred for the N-word.
Yeah.
Apart from when we're calling it towards Webbs because he deserves it. There's only one
Oh my god.
group, and Wahala, don't talk because I know you'll know this, but I think
No.
not only is it alright for you to say it, yeah, I actually want you to say it because the way they say it is so wicked.
Oh, you want the group to say it?
Both of them, yeah, they both say it.
I was gonna
fantastically.
say Onyx.
No,
No,
it's
no,
a
it's
two-man group.
Are we gonna waste our time trying to get them to understand?
Okay,
what
who is it?
It's MOP, man.
MOP. Listen to them. And their last album is one of the best albums of the last 5-6 years.
MOP's classic out here. I love MOP. I haven't got time for people telling me they don't know the legendary MOP.
Can I see this picture?
Are you trying to find the person?
Who's that?
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
You're taking a piss. I don't even know what that is. But that man looks like he's gone through depression
Oh
and
my
hell at
God.
the same time.
Who's that? That looks like
That's why I like it.
You should have. You know, you should have said. You know, the guy from the royal family.
Carl Malden.
You know the guy from the
from
royal
where?
family.
Streets of San Francisco.
yeah. Oh yeah, yeah.
You know the royal family.
You
Like
do
from
that,
the 80s.
From the 80s.
That guy in the royal family.
The old white guy.
Yeah, he's got the same.
yeah.
That's what you should have went for. People would know that one.
Okay, so we brought up Tyrese and his oily chest. This one is going at The Rock.
Oh my
Oh,
days.
Tyrese and the Rock. There's
Tyrese and
beef.
The Rock.
Sorry, just to go back a little bit. Sorry, let me just rewind and use the DeLorean again. You know that we spoke about the UK scene and that. Do you think that it would be beneficial? And let's be quick with this because I do want to talk about Tyrese. Do you think it would be beneficial to the scene if there was a beef?
No.
not at this
No.
present time.
No.
But when we talk about
positivity
beef,
is working now.
But when we talk about beef,
Well,
like
Chip
these
came up
guys,
off the beef.
these guys construct their beef and make it look like it's real back over in the United States. If they kind of done a similar thing to create money and
An orchestrated beef.
Nah.
Because
Look,
the people
Chip-
buying your
Chip-
records.
Chip has been beefing for damn near 18 months straight.
and nothing has happened.
I'm telling you, no, I'm not even joking. He's been before this album. It was
Beefing
maybe-
with Boxing Malone.
It might have been even longer than that. It was a
Sorry, Boxing Malone's mixtape that came out this year was good as well. King of the North. I like that one.
You know what? Yeah, and this is gonna sound really
Batman.
cheesy. Yeah,
Batman.
I like the fact that he called it the King of the North.
really cheesy. But 10% of it is his accent, and the other 90% of me not listening to him is because I chose a side. And and my side was Chip, and I don't even listen to Boxing Malone.
Boxing Malone.
Because you know I've heard his stuff, and it's like
Batman thing.
you're decent, but I don't think you should have ever opened up your mouth to talk about Chip.
Nah, you can't go at Chip.
So then it kind of like it put me off him because I didn't know about him before. I didn't know about him before he went at Chip.
Yeah, but that's for him to gain more stats. That's
the
why he
point.
went at
Yeah,
Chip.
but it might have. But for someone like me now, I might have organically come across this guy and be like, he's decent because he was decent.
Kind
but
of
you were not on Chip's level, and he just put me off you. It's like, who are you to open your mouth?
Are you lot heard Dave's question time?
Bad boy tune.
7 minutes of fire, boy.
Bruv.
Who?
Which one?
Dave's question time.
Santan Dave.
Question time. You lot need to check that
Bro,
out.
that tune right there, bruv. Oh my days.
Is
I
it
played
better
it.
than the 24 hours Stormzy?
It's better than Eminem's freestyle on Bet.
How
Everybody's calling it bet now. You know what cussing me before.
how new is this? Don't look
It
at
came
me.
out just a couple of days ago.
Okay, I'll listen to it.
It's-
Dave, you know the one I like from Dave the most is the one after Drake did his the remix of his song, and then he remixed the Drake song. Kind of, he took a beat that was and he made it very similar to a Drake thing, and then he rapped like no chorus for about 3 minutes or 4 minutes, and he's in the beach and somewhere in America it seems. Ah man, lyrics.
Dave is fire, man.
Lyric
Dave-
after lyric
oh, yeah.
after lyric
That's
after
how-
lyric after
Like
lyric.
Kojo funds as well. Like Kojo.
That's how the whole 7 minutes of question time is. He just
I will listen.
punchline. If it was a fight, you'd have broken all your bones. Trust
will
me,
listen.
because he was going hard all the
Nah,
way.
man. The UK boys
he
are going
doesn't
hard.
flow
now. They've got-
as nicely.
as
There's
some,
something, there's something about it because he doesn't like ride the rhythm super properly, but you kind of forgive him because he's got content and he's got a personality definitely, and he's different. He just looks like your general road man on road, like just it doesn't dress like everybody else dresses.
It reminds me of Kano a bit.
And what, you got time, you know?
Oh, okay.
Man, telling come on, bruv.
No, I just wanted
'cause-
to.
okay,
touch
what
on
do you want to talk
Tyrese.
about
Tyrese, innit? And
And The Rock.
Go on then.
the bitchiness that's going on, innit?
These
The
two
Rock's
men that
a-
like to put.
I actually
oil
think it's
in the
fake,
chest.
but anyways,
You think it's fake?
yeah, but you know,
I think it's fake as well.
Give me a minute to actually find because it's actually very funny listening to what they actually said. So,
Yeah. So
you talk about
Wahala, explain what has happened.
Why is it me that's explaining? You would want to
Because
talk
you
about
know
it?
everything, bro.
I don't know everything.
You
When
know
I tell
everything
you
on
that stuff,
social
nobody
media.
wants to listen to me now. I know everything.
Everybody listens to you, bro. What are you talking about?
Anyway, so the Tyrese and the Rock.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you know.
All right. So what seems to have happened is it happened. I think I spoke about it a couple of weeks ago, maybe on the pod. Anyway, but Tyrese basically is feeling a bit upset because the Rock.
It's a spin-off show.
Yeah. Are you the one that's saying the something?
Well, you're taking your time.
I'm not saying anything. Let me finish saying what I'm saying.
Yeah, say
Bastards. You'll burn.
Bloody hell.
You'll burn. So
Got your nose.
you bastard. Yeah, so basically Tyrese is getting a bit upset because The Rock has now had a spin-off called Hobbs of the Fast and Furious franchise, and he said that previously he's tried to have a discussion with The Rock to say that he shouldn't do this franchise spin-off until possibly after the next Fast and Furious, because it's going to push the next Fast and Furious back. And obviously,
Which it did.
This is going to affect Tyrese's money because he ain't got no other thing to do with his life. He ain't got another job, basically. He just works for Fast and Furious to make some money. So he was like, I spoke to my brother. The Rock and I, we sat down and I said to him that he should leave this Hobbs and keep it to the side so we can go as a Fast Furious family and make this new film. So the Rock Buster said, fuck you, I'm doing my own thing. Went and made his film, and he's got the film called Hobbs now. And yes, it has pushed back the Fast and Furious, and now Tyrese is now taking it to Twitter to start abusing The Rock via Twitter.
Has he literally been abusing
He's
him?
been abusing him.
Saying what?
I have never and will never have a problem with this major movie star. He's my brother. I repeat, ever. Bro, just being honest, I didn't like Baywatch, LOL. But I did rent out 2 full theaters and take a bunch of kids with my daughter from her private school to support Moana. I was surprised you could sing so well.
That's an old one, ain't it? That's an old one.
This is where it started
These
from.
are ages ago that he started with this.
Yeah, is there a date on this? Or is this 3 hours ago? Okay, I don't know. This is
I love-hate your shitty American accent.
I'm gonna stop it for the rest.
It's terrible.
No, do it.
But
No.
didn't
It's one of those things that I really hate, but it's you.
didn't Tyrese just buy his mama house a while ago?
Who's mum? The Rock's
Tyrese.
mum.
No, Tyrese
But
bought his mama.
imagine
house.
man booked somebody else's mama house.
I'm simply trying to reach him because he won't call me back about this Solo Hobbs movie. I want you to shoot it, just not right now, because Fast 9 release date has already been announced, and we can't let our loyal fans, Fast family, or our loyal Fast and Furious fans down
Yeah, this
on
is long time
any
ago,
level
man.
from pushing the date. Didn't you see how huge Fast 8 was? It's because we announced and kept our record date, bro. Call me back, DJ. I had great call with your partner, Hiram of 7 Pound Production.
Why are you getting sexual with it at the end, bro?
But I'm still trying to reach you. God bless you. I'm doing this only on behalf of our families, so we keep them all in private school. God bless you.
That means the money's hurting.
He ain't got no money, bro. Tyrese ain't got no money.
That's what he said about 3 weeks ago.
He should just go and do another Coke commercial, man.
I don't think they want him.
And then he sent more saying, why won't you call me back? Blah, 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 blah. And then all of a sudden, The Rock came out with, 2019 Hobbs movie.
The one that killed me is when he
who's
goes,
seen the video?
I just heard your album.
Yeah.
Oh my god! Yeah, that video was deep.
He said, I just heard your album.
But
You should play that,
that's
you
an
should
old,
play it.
that's an
You
old
should play
video.
it.
Yeah, I think that was old when they were friends mucking around. But there was one thing I saw him in the gym.
He
and
looked very serious when he was doing
he was in the gym and he was doing what was he doing? He was doing something in the gym anyway, yeah. And then he must have come off what he was doing dips. That's it. He was doing dips, yeah. Came with the dips, and he must have said, Tyrese, going on like a big dog. You're just a puppy. Stay on your
He
porch.
never mentioned Tyrese.
He was talking about Tyrese.
Yeah, but he never
But I'm
mentioned
saying
his
he's talking
name.
about Tyrese.
Why
Let us stop bringing something? I'm saying
This is
talk about
the thing
Tyrese.
with this
Fake news.
guy. Fake news. In fact, even something else happened with Trump actually. But anyways, yes, he
Something
never
always
mentioned
happens with
Tyrese.
Trump.
It's not you.
Now we're
I
gonna
thought he
go-
mentioned Tyrese. I'm not even lying to
To
you.
my leg, bro.
I thought he mentioned Tyrese.
Yes, no. He never mentioned him, but everybody assumed
He
that
was
he's
talking about Tyrese.
Yes.
Now we're gonna go to Wahala's corner for fake news.
So anyway, yes, I think it's fake. What do you think, Mr. Wolf? Seeing as you're very interested. I mean, you are Tyrese's twin after all.
I don't. What are you talking about?
He's my cousin.
If we found out that Tyrese was your cousin, apart from the fact he doesn't look like a Nigerian at all, I would co-sign that 100%.
Yeah, because you know that he does Coca-Cola. You do Sainsbury's Classic Cola adverts.
My sister met him, and she was starstruck. Apparently, ladies like Tyrese in it.
Did he come to ask you if you can go over?
Bruv, that's my sister.
And it was that sister as well. Yeah. No, I mean, I don't know, man. I can't say that I'm not bothered about the whole beef, but I did find it funny when The Rock said his piece about his album. I found that hilarious, but I thought they were serious.
I think I can't see this being. It cannot be serious.
Nah,
It can't be
I
serious.
think
The
it
thing
is.
with Tyrese though, Tyrese is petty.
He's a bitch.
Do you know why he's not on tour with TGT?
The tank and them man there.
Yeah, because he sees himself as the biggest star.
Okay.
So TGT is Tank, Genuine, and Tyrese,
Tyrese.
and they got a group. They put out 1 or 2 albums. They tour. They're all old school.
The ladies
R&B
love
artists, yeah.
them.
So because there's 3 of them, women will come. They hear their solo stuff, hear their group stuff. Okay, whatever. But unfortunately, there's been a falling out. They're not touring at the moment. And what's happened, from what I've heard, the rumor is that Tyrese wants 50% of all the proceeds of the shows. No, because what's happened is the first time they toured, this is what he got.
Okay.
I'm the biggest star. I'm the biggest name. So I want 50% of the proceeds. This is like a normal kind of agreement that
And
might,
then the
might
two,
happen.
you
Yeah.
had 25% each.
Yeah, but all the costs, because you obviously you pay for lighting, you pay for you pay for this, you pay for that, you pay for the coaches to take you everything, blah blah blah. I want to split it 3 ways, and they agreed with it, so equally 3 ways. I want 50% of the proceeds, but when it comes to paying out, I'm only going to pay a third. And for the first tour, they said, yeah, cool. And then this time they said, you know what, we can't do it. And he's like, fine, man, we ain't going at all.
Are we sure he's not Nigerian?
After last week,
I
he's
think-
not.
Apparently, Genuine said, as a man, at some point you have to stand up and say, no, I can't. I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
Well, you should have done it in the beginning, bruv.
Did you hear what Tank did?
Yes, Tank. Yeah, you want to say?
Tank went to go and tweet The Rock and said, if you want somebody to join your film, I'm happy to join it and act in it. Raggo.
The Rock put out an Instagram / Twitter post promoting his new film, or the film that would be coming out in 2019, which I think was the original year that Fast and Furious 9 was meant to come out. And he said it's Hobbs and who's the other one again?
Jason Statham.
Yeah, but what's his name?
I don't know, it's Jason Statham, innit?
So
That is his name in every film. Jason Statham.
Jason Statham plays. Jason Statham plays himself. It's true. He's the same character in every film. Anyways, so he put it out there and he said, "Look, I'm trying to put my people on," and this running thing happened where all like many up and coming comedians and up and coming people who still with blue checks but not super famous people said, "I want to be part of it." And then you respond and be like, "Yo, bro, that's cool. We'll try and hook you up." And then this person said, "Oh yeah, I'd love to be part of it." He's like, "Come on down. You got my number. Call me. We'll work this thing out." And then Tank said, "Yeah, bruv. Let me be behind this."
That would be funny if he joined and got a bigger check than Tyrese.
I think it's all a play. I think they're playing up for the audience. Personally, I love the Fast and Furious films. I'm there opening night every film since the third or fourth one. I'm always there. I drag whoever's. We used to do events back in the day, even.
Yeah, it used to come out near your birthday. That's why. Most times it was near your birthday and we'd just go on your birthday.
But most people just insult it and cuss it now.
No, I love Fast and Furious, man.
The last one, I thought the storyline was good. It had me hooked.
The storyline is never good.
I
but
don't
it's
care
just,
about the storyline.
The storyline is
It's The Rock versus Vin Diesel.
I mean, I don't expect. I mean,
they're on the same team now.
You see,
Caesar
you
versus
see,
them.
you see with these films, I'm not expecting no flipping Usual Suspects type thing, but with the way how they wrote it, I liked it. It wasn't just a basic, let me try and rob this bank and try and drive fast cars. I thought it was a little
That
different.
was the best one.
No, I'm just saying that this storyline just
Brazil,
gone.
boy.
That was pretty good.
is Brazil.
You know how sad I am? I actually want to. There's 2 things I want to do. Yeah, when it comes to traveling, I want to go to all the places in the Fast and Furious films. Yeah, my wife is quite happy to join me. Apart from that one where they're in the Caucasus Mountains in 8, where they actually go to the Caucasus Mountains. She's like, I ain't going there. I'm not joining you there. But I've been to a bunch of them places, and
Went to Brazil.
Yes, I've been to a lot of the places that they've been to, so I can at least claim that. Just not all of them. And Dan Brown, Robert Langdon books. So Robert Langdon is a character in the Dan Brown books, the Da Vinci Code, and all this. And he's always in a different country as well. And always jumping around from country to country, place to place. I want to go to all the places that he's been to as well.
I want to look at the landmarks and the stuff
because
that he discusses.
a lot of the time I've been to the. If you've read the books, then he explains architecture in such a way that you think is fantastic, and you want to see it. And I want to be able to see these things in the flesh as well. Most of them I've actually seen in the flesh, but Stonehenge is one of them I haven't. Never been to Stonehenge before. What time is it?
1:22.
Stonehenge. You want to go Stonehenge?
Yes. Listen, I want to go and see. I want to see I'm a fan of architecture. I'm a fan of traveling. I'm a fan of learning new things. I didn't start traveling till very late in life. I was 28 before I went on my first real holiday, and that was to Mexico. And it's only then I learned that Mexicans weren't used to black people. Have I said this on the podcast before?
Yes, I think so.
Go on.
And have I?
I don't remember.
But if you're gonna say it quick, man, because we need to go to another topic.
This is the other topic.
Okay, go on then.
Unless you got another one that you want to go.
I thought we was gonna talk about Eminem's freestyle.
Okay, cool. We'll get to that then. So when I was in Mexico, Cancun, 2008.
That's when all the Britons weren't going there.
No,
In fact, I went there about. I went there 2002 when people.
Damn.
Yeah,
So that's way before me.
yeah, before my son was born.
Who did you go with? You go with Mo?
I went with Rana. We
When
were all meant
no
to go.
Britons were going. there.
And
The reason I was going was because I broke up with my ex, and it was meant to be, look, I'm going on holiday to get over this ex, and everybody was meant to come. And as what happens with crew holidays, people
True
were
love, boy.
backing out.
Pulling
Oh,
out.
I can't come, until it was just me and one person left. I would have gone by myself at that point. But Rana
always represents.
Rana, the legend,
Always
the
represents.
legend backed it, and so it was me and him that went. And so we rented a car. We left the strip. If you've been to Mexico, Cancun is just a couple of miles strip, and it's very populated and it's very westernized and blah blah blah. But if you drive out of there, things change. So we drove out of there and we went to the hood, and we went to one shanty town shopping center. And people were just, what? And I was taking pictures there. This is back in the day before camera phones. I was there taking pictures with my mum's camera, blah, blah, blah. And people were just watching us. And it's like, boy. And I tucked in my chain. I put away the
Chain. What
fancy-
chain you need to tuck in?
It's a silver chain.
Was it that flimsy thing that you get?
It's not flimsy. That chain was given to me. Was it given to me? The chain is important to my life, actually, so don't insult my chain.
Flimsy is the physical.
It wasn't
description.
flimsy,
It's not
but
flim- it's not flimsy.
It wasn't something that he wasn't a big rope chain. Like
is it quite an effeminate chain?
No,
no,
it's
it wasn't
a chain.
It actually looks like a back chain.
It doesn't matter.
Was it really a chain worth tucking in though?
Yes, it's a chain that somebody would steal if you were living in a third world country. Yes.
So where was you? Were you in Juarez?
No,
We drove out of Cancun and went to Juarez.
I don't know.
Which one is Juarez again now?
We did drive for that,
Cartels,
long, but we drove. We drove.
You was in
out.
Cancun, yeah?
Yeah.
Still.
No, we weren't in Cancun anymore.
You left Cancun completely.
We
were
think
in
so.
I very much doubt you left the whole of
Juarez.
Cancun, bro.
We drove for a good hour and a half or whatever, man. We just drove in it until we got somewhere. There was, anyways. We tucked in the stuff.
What would you do if some essays come for you, bro?
I don't know.
Hey, man.
Back then I was a lot less.
What were they called? Something 13 or something they are over there. now.
M13 or something.
Yeah.
So, anyways, we walk into this shopping center and the girls are just laughing at us, and the dudes is just looking, staring at you. So eventually, after half an hour, it's like, you know what, let's go. So we drive back to where we felt safe, and then we did one of these tours in what's this place?
Miguel.
Morales.
Did you go?
Look how-
You went to
how
one of these
black he
places
is.
a while back
Pincho.
recently.
What do you mean?
Where the pyramids are, anyways.
I
Alright.
went there.
Anyways, so we went there, and the tour guide told us, "Oh, these people that just walk past, they're laughing at you." This short guy, I'll never forget. And I'm like, "Yeah, people have been laughing at me since I left them, like Cancun. What's going on?" He's like,
It's because you're black.
"I don't mean to be rude, but he told his wife, don't. I'm just relaying what he said. Don't." He said, "Here's your package." I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "Your package is your penis." He said, "Round here we still think black men have big penis. So I'm sorry." So I said, "Is this why these people are laughing at me?" He's like, "Yes,
Because you don't have a big package.
like these people."
Hey, package.
Good one, Webbs. Good one. So he said, "Yes." He said, "We're not used to black people here. If I didn't travel,
Miguel, where's his package? I don't know.
If I didn't travel there, I wouldn't know that. Same thing in Turkey. They do the same thing there. They laugh at you. They try and touch your hair. My wife got vexed. They take pictures of you. They randomly take pictures
It's
of
Chinese
you.
that love to take a picture, man.
Yeah, they do that.
Do you
in the
remember we
forest.
went all the way to Brazil for Chinese people to start taking a picture of me? Standing right next to Christ the Redeemer, they want to take pictures of me.
Remember Webbs?
Yeah, but you're wearing all white. innit?
No, Webbs was wearing all white when we went, and bare people wanted to take pictures with Webbs,
I was Christ.
and he looked like
was.
Jesus, black Jesus.
And you know, it's not just because he was black, because all of us were there and they were pushing us out the way. To like, can you stand in front of Christ?
But it's because not only was he black with all the white clothing on, but he was hobbling like he had carried the cross. Because he had something wrong with his foot, so he was hobbling like he had carried the cross. And,
And actually, that day, one man asked me to pray for him.
oh yeah, yes. The dude asked him
And you know what he did?
he
Put his
I put my hand on him. I laid hands. Yes.
I don't remember that.
Yes. One man asked Webbs to pray for him.
Where was that?
I think he asked the devil to pray for you.
When we
He
went-
asked the devil to pray for you.
Oh, that's deep. I don't remember that.
You're probably looking at yourself in some mirror somewhere.
No, you know when we went to see the Christ Redeemer
Yeah.
on the way down, On the way down, we walked around the side bit, and one of the guys there asked him.
Was it on the way down or was it not?
It was on the way down.
It was on the way down. And we were standing there watching, and we were like, "No, he's gonna touch him. He's gonna touch him. Oh no, he's gonna touch him on his forehead." And then he did it. He touched him on his forehead.
Put his hand.
You're
He laid his hand on his head.
Beg the Lord for forgiveness.
No, bro. That day, I was Christ.
The Lord was speaking through him.
No, for real.
Nah, that man went home and sizzled when he got back. Told me when he went to the mirror, he said, "Oh man, devil son, it burns, it burns." How can you play, man? I was almost crying because I never thought he would do it, but then I forget his webs. The man put his hand on his head and prayed for him like he was a proper pastor.
You probably didn't play for him.
You asked for money. You should take money from him, man.
I wanted to take money.
Bro, we could have made money. We could have
made money that day.
We could have hold our webs.
I think next week,
Jesus Howin.
Maybe we'll talk about holidays or something, man. All our holidays.
I'm pimping Jesus right here.
All right, let's end off with Eminem. What did you think about his B.E.T. Cypher solo,
Bet.
5-minute thing where he went at Trump for the beginning to end?
I don't talk about this when we were talking about Eminem.
Because he was meant to, but we didn't.
We split it off, innit?
I don't think it's as good as Santantabe's question time. That's what I'm going to say about that.
I think it was all right. I don't see the massive hoo-ha. He's not the only rapper that's gone at Trump. He's just.
Is he not the only rapper, Mr. Wolf?
Did I say he was the only one?
You kind of alluded to.
No, I didn't.
You did what every black.
No, I didn't.
Why is it a white man that has to come out and say the thing for the blacks?
What I said, what Mr. Wolf said,
Can't we talk for ourselves?
Is that I want
White savior.
I said that I want our rappers to do more. That's what I said. I expect them to do more. I want them to do more. There are rappers out there that have said bits and bobs
like
they have.
Eminem. Why can't they do like him?
White Jesus.
Yeah, I would like them to do something like that, and I want them to do more.
White Jesus. Somebody did one in the same freestyles that was there that day. Mysonne.
No, more than I haven't heard this Mysonne one.
Well, Mysonne murdered it down.
Was it Mysonne? Because this same dude I said I was arguing with, he said, "Did you hear the Mysonne?" He said, "Mysonne." I said, "Mysonne." He said, "I think that's it."
It's Mysonne.
I said, "Mysonne, one old rapper. Is Mysonne still rapping even?"
Yeah, he is, but he's more underground now, and he murdered that whole thing, murdered it down.
Yeah,
I still think my favorite Cypher is probably David Bannon's one a couple of years ago, man. David Banner smashed it, and he was talking about the same. This was 2 years ago, and he was talking about the same things that they're talking about now, which is the police brutality and people not backing it. And the last thing he said on that freestyle was, "When what happens to all the white rappers when Mike Brown got shut down? Nowhere to be found." So I was thinking, maybe Eminem came back because he was remember that freestyle in that cypher where the man was saying, "Where's all the white boys when all of this stuff's going down? You take the culture."
There's hardly any white rappers.
Exactly. And who's he talking to then? He's talking to him, isn't it? He's talking to him. So when the culture's getting destroyed and the black boys are getting destroyed, you take all our money, you take our rats, but you don't come back. And this time he came back. But my problem with this situation, it's not even a problem. I just think that what Mr. Wolf was saying, like there's other people that's been doing this, and he just gets highlighted at the time.
I get that,
but I think
there's an over backlash. I think there's just two extremes when it comes to it.
It's an over
you
backlash.
have one side going on, he was the greatest thing ever, fantastic. Oh my, whatever. Oh my god! And then you had the other side is like it wasn't all that good.
No, it
like,
wasn't.
But
it wasn't
making such a big deal.
But it wasn't all that good.
It was decent.
No,
just his delivery was a bit.
Because for me, I think it's this. Yeah, he wanted to get a point across. And I think he got it across. So I think it did what it was supposed to do, as far as I'm concerned.
The delivery was Higgy Haga.
No, but the freestyle itself wasn't good. It wasn't. Okay, earlier on you were saying Eminem is one of the baddest lyricists, yeah? And I agree with you. On the freestyle, on that type of flex, when he's just spitting, Eminem is fantastic, yeah? When he's not talking about, he's not trying to make a song, he's just spitting, Eminem is bad. So when he's got the chance to do the things that he does, people are expecting him to murder the whole place down, but he didn't. He came and he tried to, for me, that wasn't what his intention was. His intention was to try and get his point across. Even if
and he done it.
And I think he did that well.
So
if that's your point, then I don't think that the freestyle itself is fire.
I think
it's not his best.
For those of you that may not know, Eminem had an anti-Bush song a few years ago when Bush was in power. So this is over 8 years ago, obviously. And that song was wicked. Listen to that. Find it.
His album's coming soon.
It's a cartoon. I don't listen to Eminem anymore because, yes, he's.
But you're telling me he's better than.
He's boring now, just like you. Yes, but so Black Thought is boring as well. I don't. Oh
my god! There's so much sacrilege getting spread on this podcast today. Black Thought is boring.
Yeah, more or less.
Oh my.
Anyways, where was I? So but
The family disowned
things fall apart. It's gone downhill since then.
No.
So there's a better album that he's done.
I'm not saying
that
it's
the roots
better.
have done. So
doesn't
then
mean that
it's gone down.
doesn't mean that his lyrical school has gone downhill. I'm talking about Black Thought. I'm not talking about the roots. I'm talking about the legendary Black Thought.
I don't think Eminem's lyrical skill has gone downhill. I'm saying he's boring now.
I've said he's.
So
I think his skills gone downhill.
I'm not saying that. Well, I don't listen to him enough to even be able to judge it. I don't know. But anyways,
Every now and then I listen to Rap God. Every now and then.
and I don't even like that song.
I'm just amazed at the technical.
Well, yeah, because it's the same style as all the other songs as well. I can't believe he said Eminem has one style.
Leave me, man. I wait for
all the rappers in the world to say has one style.
You know what I find interesting is, that clown that is Donald Trump. He tends to tweet quite a lot when it comes to that issue, and I find it fascinating that he hasn't said anything about Eminem.
No, he did. I think he did it. But
He hasn't.
He hasn't said
quick
that,
question though.
So that's my thing.
Quick question though. Just because you mentioned his name, yeah. Do you man actually think that this man is the man tweeting? Do you think it's actually him doing it?
Of course.
I do.
Yes.
It's his character. It's just his character is coming out in his tweets.
And I think what we have to recognize is some of us have very old parents here in their 70s. And what are your parents when they get to 70 plus? They don't care anymore.
Yeah.
And you have to remember, Trump is 70 plus. He doesn't care anymore.
He don't
my
care.
mum and my dad on WhatsApp are like, their keystrokes are different level, bruv. Very quick, and send all to the family group. So they send messages all the time, and I think that this man does likewise.
I think he gets drunk and tweets when he gets drunk.
I don't know that he's doing it.
I think I would have loved to see Bush on Twitter as well.
Yeah, but Bush can't barely read.
That's
so
the point.
It would have been funny. All his
A,
typos,
A, B, C, D,
his
F,
typos
R.
would have been fucked.
All right, let's
B4.
let's sign out with a nice, concise episode for once.
And why don't you hashtag that?
Do you think that Bush?
Just remember, I said that.
I'm asking, do you think that Bush ever grabbed somebody by the pussy?
Yes.
Okay, so it's not just Trump doing it then.
Well,
Weinstein.
The fan.
I think people on this table have grabbed people by the pussy.
Hashtag that Porsche.
What did you just say?
You heard.
I don't think I have. I know I
You
have.
don't think you have?
That's a sexual assault.
I think I'm gonna end it on this. Yeah, and you lot can tell me no before we go away. That's fine. I think everyone on this table, including myself, I'm throwing myself in there. If with some of these allegations of what is abuse is actually abuse, all of us on this table have abused somebody.
No.
True. Without consent.
True.
Touched a woman without her consent.
No.
I.e. somebody in a club. Just a simple touch on the shoulder or a stroke of the arm. I know I stroked arms, so I'm telling you blatantly I've done that.
So this man's
But
you got arms. This one's got ankles.
So wait, you're saying touch of the shoulder is abuse?
Yes.
I've abused a lot of people then, man. I've touched many shoulders in my life.
Well, let me not say a touch, but a stroke.
Touch of the waist, holding the waist,
like a slap of the bum.
I don't know about slapping the bum.
I haven't done that, but I'm not. I wouldn't be surprised if people have.
Webs.
And these are people that you're
Webs.
even like you're
Webs.
familiar with.
Webs.
Wahala is saying no. You're still saying no, Wahala.
You have tied people
saying
up with
no, I
your
don't
hair.
think I've
Shut
assaulted
your
anyone.
mouth.
Ever.
Yeah, but are you saying haven't assaulted and then you're looking at the words we're using, the terms we're using, just touching somebody, asking somebody to come into your car or your room?
Get in the car.
Do you know the first time that I saw these things happening was in school? Is when the man them were messing around with girls and feeling up girls and things like that.
Yeah, I never did that either.
I don't
You never played
expect
Kiss
you
Chase,
to
bro.
do that. I've got to say, out of everybody, if someone says that they haven't done anything, then I'm looking at Wahala. But that's when I first saw those kind
Wahala,
of
have you
things.
never
and I
played
can
Kiss Chase in school?
put my hands up and say
I was too fat for Kiss Chase.
that Mr. Wolf.
They always caught
was
me.
about that life.
Anyways,
He was out of breath after
on,
two steps.
You can run, but you can't hide, Wahala.
on that very controversial note,
Yeah.
we are going to end this podcast. We are going to say our goodbyes and give our church notes.
I'm begging
And
for
we will
forgiveness.
start off with Simple Simon.
Simple Simon FB on Twitter. That is at Simple Simon FB on Twitter.
We thank you.
We thank him.
And we will go to DJ Webslinger.
DJ Webs on Instagram, DJ Webslinger on Twitter. Thank you very much.
King Wala.
Big Wahala on Twitter and on Insta. Follow your boy.
the legend Wolf.
It's Yemi Online on Twitter and Yemi's
He's looking up as well,
Insta
it's like-
on Instagram.
Is it-
And what I wanted to say
Is it written on
quickly,
the ceiling?
did they even hear it? Because you were chatting.
Go on.
Well, good. Let me do it again. It's Yemi Online on Twitter
Yeah, sure.
and Yemi's Insta on Instagram. And a quick shout out to Extra Biscuits.
Yes, we're gonna be
Yeah.
an extra biscuit.
Extra Biscuit, a big shout. And it's not only until recently, because we were invited, myself, Wahala and Simple Simon, to go onto the show. I think it was yesterday that I realised that Simone, that was there as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that she was part of that crew.
We said that from the that
No, but I didn't know that until I was looking at her. I was looking, and please forgive me, Simone. I was looking at her, and it's not until I looked at the
Does
photograph
the loss of hair mean loss of
that I was
memory?
looking at the photograph, and I said, "Yeah, that's Simone."
Did he come to the?
No, I
No,
wasn't
he
there.
didn't.
So how do you know Simone, anyways?
I don't know, but let's just
No, I knew her from the
anyway, extra biscuits.
Some extra biscuits.
Extra biscuits. We're gonna be on extra biscuits. I think it's coming out next. We might be coming out this week. I can't remember. It will be out around the
Yeah,
same time that this
from the
podcast
other
comes out.
On our social medias, it will be promoted.
Check out. Can we
So-
salute Cheryl Blue for inviting us?
big up.
Thank you very much for inviting us down there.
Pick up yourself.
Yes,
and
ma'am.
putting us on the podcast and making us chat bare disgusting nastiness.
I'm looking forward to hearing it.
Mr. Wolf was filthy on there.
I don't
And,
think it was that bad.
Nah, it wasn't that bad.
quite mild actually.
It wasn't that bad.
Speaking of Simone, from what I'm
Lemon.
gathering, she's
Lemon
coming up with her own podcast soon.
Yeah, she's got her own pod soon as well.
Okay, so we'll pick that up when that gets started. So I am Stavros Bus. I'm going to do my Stavros Says, my little section now. Tate Modern has got an exhibition, Soul of a Nation. It's ending this week. If you're listening to the podcast, the week that we are putting it out. So
Is that the African arts one?
I wouldn't call it African American. I would say it's an African American.
Have you been?
I've been.
Okay.
Went with my family. Took my wife and daughter, and
And when does it end?
the 29th.
How did- how did your daughter
Sorry,
react?
no, the 23rd.
How did your daughter react to looking at the is it paintings and portraits or what?
Yeah, everything, paintings,
Yeah, how did she
portraits,
react?
sculptures.
Did you like it?
She's one.
Yeah, but she might have been attracted.
You know
to
what? The black and white pictures. She seemed like she liked the actual like taken with cameras. The black and white pictures. She liked those.
So that's Pimlico or Southwark? Sorry,
That's the Southwark
Southwark
one.
one. Because there's Tate Modern and Tate Britain. Always get
Yeah.
them mixed up.
Yeah, this is the Southwark one. Even
Okay.
yeah, so it's like between £13 and £17 whether you give a gift, a donation or not. So yeah, it's worth the money. Go there, have a look.
How much?
Tate Modern. I just told you.
Between 13 and 17 pounds.
Do
man is
you
not
know? Do
listening.
you know why? Because I had my mind on this coming Saturday. My mind literally just switched off, and by the time everybody listens to this,
Oh no, what's the date we're going away? 22nd, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
by the time everybody listens to this, that Africa in the Park is
Africa in
gonna
the Square, yeah.
Africa in the Square is gonna.
So
It
the
would have happened by then.
22nd, I believe, is the last day. Sunday, the 22nd of October, I believe, is the last day. So not the 29th, my mistake.
I've got a week.
And yeah, so I had to go because I'm flying out them time. So that is Stavros Says. That's my recommendation of this week. So you can catch me at Stavros Boss everywhere. Thank you very much. You can catch us collectively at ESN Podcast. Oh yes, Simple Simon said we have to do something. I have to remember this. We have to do a little advert and put it in the middle of the podcast instead of at the end. So hashtag ESN Pod, because people do hashtag ESN Podcasts and people are tweeting at us, which is cool. Don't get me wrong. But if you're talking about us, hashtag ESN Pod, and we search for that sporadically and we find what you're saying. We respond to you. The people that actually respond to us on the SoundCloud page, thank you. We are reading. We'll get back to you. Wahala and myself, usually the ones that, and Simple Simon sometimes as well. So we will get back to you. So sorry if we're a bit of a long thing. We're black. Forgive us.
And Instagram, people are responding to us on Instagram as well. That's appreciated.
That's Wahala's domain. Definitely.
Yeah, I don't know how to use it, but yeah, thank you for responding to us on that too.
And yeah, thank you for all the support. Seems like the last couple of episodes have got a bit of love, so thank you so much for your support. Please share the good word. Share the good word. Find us on Facebook, Eloquently Saying Nothing, search us there. And Wahala, what do you want to say?
I would like to say that if you require a blessing from Web Slinger, what the hell was that? you require a blessing from Web Singer, please put a tweet on ESN podcast, and we charge £5 per finger of blessings.
That's right.
Wahala's crying now.
That's the work of Web Slinger. Tears that's flowing through my eyes.
Last thing, I'm not one for begging. I didn't even beg to marry my wife, but I'm begging you to put out a what do they call it when you do that thing on Apple Podcasts? The review. Rate and review us, please. I know people are listening because I see you every week listening. I see your but you're not rating and reviewing us, so I would just request you do that just to help it out. You find something in this, obviously you come back every week, so share it so that other people can find it, so you can talk to other people and you can say you got there first, because that's always a good thing.
Apart from the blessing, should we offer them something else if they rate and review?
No. Begging you. Please beg. This
They don't even get a plug.
All right.
That could be taken so many different ways.
Only you would think that.
No.
Yes,
No.
because nobody else thought that. Just you.
No.
Goodbye, ladies and gentlemen. Goodbye.
Remember, if you ain't saying nothing, say it well.
Slag, foe, life.
I was worried.
What's wrong with your eyes, man?
Stew.